Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob!
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
And
1 minute.
dogs the old-fashioned way, the same way our grandfathers did back in 1933. Hummel hot dogs have been Connecticut's favorite for one reason: quality. This is Eric Hummel. This summer, make sure you're grilling the very best for your friends and family. Hummel specialties like our hot dog, bratwurst, red hots, kielbasi, and delicious Hummel hamburgers. Treat your family and friends to the hot dogs that generations have grown up on. Hummel's. And remember, all Hummel products are gluten-free and always represent the very best in quality. I'm Eric Hummel, and I personally guarantee it.
Town Fair Tire is proud to sponsor the Hartford Yard Goats all season long. Catch all the action at beautiful Duncan Park. Last season voted the best minor league ballpark in all of the minor leagues. Town Fair Tire and the Hartford Yard Goats, two Connecticut winning franchises, team up this season as the Yard another playoff run. Town Fair Tire and the Hartford Yard Goats rolling together all season long.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah!
What's going on? All you scallywags, nutmeggers across the fruited plain, you know what time it is. It is time for It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC, and I normally don't do this because I always like to keep every show that every person does. A lot of these guys in the business are my heroes. A lot of these guys in the business I listen to from time to time. But in some cases, they're rivals, damn it. No, I'm kidding. And when I say rivals, it's like in the ratings. There's a competitiveness in all of that, as it should be. It keeps you on your toes. It makes you better, I believe. And one of the guys who's been in this business a long time, television and radio, is my colleague, teammate, Brian Shackman. And, you know, he does the morning show here, Brian and Company, with a host of guys who I adore. I love all of them because I work with all of them, including Brian. But, of course, you got Matt Sorois. You've got Mark Christopher, who does traffic with us in the morning. Morgan Cunningham, love his voice. For such a young guy, he has a very authoritative, older voice. Love him. Bob Cox, who is the meteorologist here. So that morning crew I love every one of them. And I've worked with every one of them, and they've had a great rapport with me since I began here back in 2022. But ideologies are different. And as I've explained on this program, that not everybody is going to agree with me. Many people have even gone so far as to say, well, Reese, aren't you trying to get people to agree with you? No, I don't want them agreeing with me. I want them to think about what I'm talking about. Think about it. And then from that thought process, having that engagement, coming up with their own point of view or arguing or debating my own point of view. And Brian and I, the last time he and I were together and broadcasted together, with the exception of the Holiday Store 2 years ago, was during election night. And that particular night, Brian and I went sort of back and forth about certain things. Of course, as it associated with Democrats versus Republicans, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. And his point of view was clearly expressed. And this was stuff going on behind the scenes where we were talking about Kamala Harris as a candidate. And I was making this argument that too many people were making issues about her color, about the fact that she was a woman of color. And I was trying to understand, why was that such a big deal? Like, she's a person of color. So? And I think it took him aback because in some circles that people have, you're not supposed to say, so? And I get it. You're not supposed to say so to that. That's supposed to be very important because of sensitivities, political correctness, or whatever the reason may be. I don't want to cast any aspersions on anybody for what their reasons are. But me, I'm going, so? This makes her special how? Does this melanin make her brilliant? Can she solve more problems because she's a person of color? I'm just not understanding. Please tell me how I should understand this. And many people, when they hear that, they either go full bore or they back away a little bit, or they converse and say, okay, well, I understand. I guess that does, have some, there's some truth in that. And there is. You couldn't tell me the fact that because she has a vagina and she's a person of color, she's more suitable for the job, just in those two aspects alone. So I was trying to get away from that conversation. Is that, don't tell me about a person being of color or being a female. And that's the way I've always looked at politics. And when people start throwing that stuff at me, I dismiss it. Because a lot of people will try to throw that at me. Well, Reese, let's consider the reason why you're on WTIC. And I'm going, oh, yeah, and let's go. But anyway, I digress. Back to why we're in this conversation. So Brian was trying to figure out where he was on the Newington 7. And that is the 7 individuals who were picked up by ICE. And from what I know, and I want to thank Mark in West Hartford for going down there and actually asking questions, he went and got his car washed and talked to one of the brothers of one of the individuals who is now in ICE custody. They are in Massachusetts, for those of you who are trying to figure out where they are. Mayor of Newington. They're in Massachusetts. That what we are finding out is new at the time was very little. But everybody has an opinion about very little information. And Brian expressed that. So if you missed it, let's go through them. He began like this.
I've been thinking about this a lot. And I don't know if there's personal risk here, and I don't have a fully formed opinion. But I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm not saying you should agree with me or disagree with me. You can have your own opinion.
So he starts off by saying, look, I've been thinking about this, and you can have your own opinion. Of course you can. But he just wanted to express his, because he had a personal concern, just for him, that he felt with his platform he had to speak out. Fair. You can't deny that. I give it to him for that, saying that he understood the risk that there were going to be people who were upset, and clearly they were. But he felt it important enough for him to express. Now, again, I don't have to agree with Brian. He told me I don't. And he told you that you don't. He just wanted to express where he was coming from. He then went on.
I think when it came to immigration in the new administration, I think everyone who was in their right mind realized the border was broken and needed to be fixed. And whatever we could do in a civil and humane way needed to be done. And the deportation thing is a little bit different in the sense that, okay, at first it was get rid of violent criminals, and that made sense to me too. And then even if it were convicted criminals, and basically what it's morphed into is there's some sort of mandate to have a certain amount of people, taken out of this country, and they're all considered criminals now because they're in the country illegally. So just the act of coming in, whether they were seeking asylum or not, is considered an illegal act. So that's the justification of doing it.
Now, that's kind of true, but not entirely. It's not a misinformation. It's not misguided for him to think that, but that has been the rumor, that it's gone on from getting the violent ones out, and that didn't meet a quota, so now let's just grab everyone. Now, that's been conjecture on a lot of people's part. That's what the assumption has been by the news media. And with Brian being someone who consumes the news, he's taking that in and making that a part of his statement. Okay? That's where that's coming from. Now, someone said, and how this all was brought about was that he said that, or the person who heard him said that he was comparing this to Nazis or Nazi Germany. And that's what upset the caller. But Brian actually addresses that in the beginning of his statements.
And then the critics have said, well, this is like Nazi Germany. And then that triggers a whole bunch of other things. And I think that whether it's Democrats or people that aren't comfortable with it, that kind of dialogue just needs to stop. Because there's not some genocidal attempt here. It's not Nazi Germany. But the key here, that doesn't mean it's not wrong. It doesn't mean it's not something that is shades of authoritarian. Like, just because it's not like Nazi Germany doesn't mean it's something that's okay.
Right. So he's clearing it up that he's not comparing it to Nazi Germany, and he thinks that people that do it should not. And I think this is where the trouble began. Because after denouncing or dismissing any associations with Nazi Germany, Brian said this.
And I think I'm reading this book called The German Wife, and I'm only halfway through it. But I think this is the whole thing when there's something that so obviously doesn't feel right. Like this thing in Newington where we don't know anything about these people, but they were picked up while they're working at a car wash and taken away. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they went. Maybe they are violent criminals or convicted criminals, but we don't know that.
Okay, now that's an important point here. We do not know that, but Brian is still concerned. Now, this was exactly my beef with the Newington mayor, was that he was saying that he was deeply concerned about information he expressed he knew nothing about, which again is why I kept pushing back on this idea. You can't be deeply concerned about something you don't know. You can't call it authoritarian if you don't know the conditions of which the action took place. Like, you're deeply concerned about things that you don't know. It's almost like being afraid of the monster in the closet or the boogeyman under the bed. I haven't seen those monsters, but I'm deeply concerned that they're there. Get it? Okay, now, as I said, he says the Nazi Germany thing is wrong, but then he talks about the German book. When you're listening on the radio, I can see how you can say, well, wait a minute, is he or is he not? We'll get to that point. Let's move on. He doesn't want to look back 20 years later and not have spoken up. Now, this sounds a little bit like the authoritarian part is the point he's trying to make. He's not making a Nazi Germany reference, but he is looking at the sort of looking the other way reference here.
I don't have a problem if you're in this country illegally saying, okay, if you don't make your immigration hearing, then we'll deport you. Give them an opportunity to go along with the system. This Afghan interpreter was trying to do everything right, and he was detained. And I guess my point to people is pretty simple. I don't want to look back in 20 years or 10 years or 25 years and find out that it was a reprehensible thing we were doing and have stood by and said nothing.
Now, when Brian comes in, I do have to ask him about exactly what he meant there. Because what in this action by ICE is the concern that 20 years down the road, we will realize that what we did was awful. That's part of the reason why he's going to be on the show later on today, because I need to understand that. Just like I was trying to understand what the Newington mayor was deeply concerned about, is because that's kind of an incomplete sentence. Like, okay, you don't want to find out 20 years from now that we did something bad. Well, give me some examples of what you mean. And I think that needs to be sort of weeded out. Now, he says this, and this is almost where I go, if the Democrats are doing demographic change and we think that's evil, Brian has a solution. And for me, this is, again, my opinion, I think he's asking us to do the same thing that the Democrats are doing. And I don't think that that's a great idea. But this is what he said in talking about what we should do about the folks who have come in illegally.
If this is something that should be done because these people are dangerous to your neighborhood, there's a justification there. If you're trying to fill a quota because you're going to try to get all the people out that somehow you thought were let in by a Democrat administration to get future voters, all I would say is that if you gave these hundreds of thousands of people the opportunity to go through the system and maybe earn their right to stay here, they'd be Republican voters forever. Like, I mean, the logic doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Now, I don't agree with the fact that Democrats who would let them into the country and then allow them to vote, that they would vote Democrat. And therefore, if we give them now the opportunity to become citizens, that they then become Republicans. I don't believe in using the same bad idea a different way. I'm not sure exactly what the logic that doesn't make sense. But again, I got to ask him. So I'm going when he gets here at 4:30, we're going to ask him about that in particular. And I've already written that down to ask him. Okay, now, remember, back to the German thing that caused all of this. Now, he says that it's wrong to bring up the Nazi Germany reference. Then he talks about the book that he's reading. And then he brings up the book again. And I think this is what sparked it.
You know, in reading this book, it's basically about German families who came over to join their scientist husbands who were basically Nazis, but they were helping the U.S. rocket program. And it was the tension about having these people come over and being allowed to stay here. And I'm just getting through the book.
Now, you get what I'm saying here? It's like saying that, associating it with Nazi Germany and then making a reference to a book about Nazi Germans. Someone's going to hear that and go, is he comparing the two? Even if he isn't, he's making an association with the book. He's hearing about people coming into the country who are associated with Nazis and then the people who are in the country trying to work. It's a leap. Okay? It's a leap, but a short one. Okay? And that's where the confusion sets in, because you're on the radio and you're talking about this, and twice you bring up the book about Germans and then Nazis come in while you're trying to say that Nazi Germany references are wrong. And I think that's where the caller is going. But wait a minute. At first you said it isn't, but then you keep coming back to this book. So I want Brian to sort of associate the two or explain the two and whether or not he can clarify. Because, again, he's riffing here, right? He has this passion about what's going on, and he shows some concern. In fact, he makes that point a little bit more here. He's just uncomfortable about the fact that these people are being scooped up in the middle of the day.
And so I'm not here to tell you, you can think this, you're right, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. I'm just saying these things, like what happened in Newington, I don't know the context because they don't let us know who these people are, make me very uncomfortable. Now, if you're a convicted criminal or a violent criminal, I understand why you need to leave. If you're in this country illegally, you should go through the process. And if you don't go through the process, you need to go too. But to be just grabbing people in the middle of the day makes me very uncomfortable. And I don't know how else to say it. And I guess my point to you is it should make you uncomfortable too.
Okay. Now that, I don't know why it should make everybody uncomfortable. because there are some people who are looking at this and going, ICE is picking up people who came into the country illegally, and people aren't assuming outright that these people are just innocent workers. And the reason why, and there's a very, very valid point to this, and I had this argument before. We got to go to a break, but I'm going to play the rest of this in the next in a minute. But this assumption that they're all good people is not a fair assumption because you think they're all good people. You know what I mean? Painting people with a broad brush that they're all good is just as bad as painting with a broad brush that they are all bad. It doesn't become acceptable because the word good is attached. Each and every one of these are isolated. These 7 men in Newington do not make up the swath or all of the millions of people. They don't get to be innocent because you want to believe that they are. But again, we'll get into that. Stand by. More news, more views, this topic when we get back, and then we'll get ready for the Brian Shackman interview when we return. Go nowhere. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewGenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewGenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewGenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. Well, vacation is over, school is back in session, and WTIC News Talk 1080 is part of your daily routine with news, weather, and traffic updates, plus talk shows to keep you informed and entertained. It's back to the grind, but we'll help you get through it. WTIC News Talk 1080, always on your radio and on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. And now, a WTIC News Update.
2:30 Hartford, temperature 76 degrees. I'm John Silva. Mostly sunny. Temperatures approaching 80 this afternoon. Waterbury police have been at the scene of a home on Buckland Drive for hours. This following a domestic incident overnight. A shelter in place was ordered for a nearby school as a precaution. 2 people have now died in a Monday afternoon shooting in New Haven. Officers were called to Dickerman Street Monday afternoon. A 26-year-old male was first reported deceased. Later, a 32-year-old male victim was pronounced dead as well. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook's lawyer says she will sue President Trump's administration to try to prevent him from firing her. A longtime Washington attorney saying today that Trump has no authority to remove Cook. They rolled out the red carpet for the kids at Hartford's Martin Luther King Middle School today. It's the first day of classes for Hartford and other communities as they kick off the 2025-26 school year. The Israeli military says its strike on a Gaza hospital that killed 20, including 5 journalists, was aimed at what military officials believed was a Hamas surveillance camera, as well as people they identified as militants. And Melania Trump is inviting students in grades K through 12 to participate in a government-sponsored nationwide contest using artificial intelligence. The goal, to help them to get comfortable with AI and to use it to solve issues in their communities. WTIC News Time 2:31. Bob Cox with the forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon, mostly about 75 to 80. Sunshine and just a few fair weather clouds mixed in. Nice low humidity. Dew points in the upper 40s and low 50s. And a west to northwest wind averaging about 10 miles per hour. Night looks mostly clear, comfortably cool. Lows in the 50s in most areas. I see a few spots a tad cooler than that toward morning. Wednesday, it's mostly sunny. We'll see some cumulus clouds mixing in with the sun during the day. Very comfortable. Highs in the 70s, continued low humidity. There is the chance for a scattered shower or sprinkle with an upper-level trough over us tomorrow, but it's generally dry. Becoming mostly clearer again Wednesday night, lows 48 to 57. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds Thursday with highs in the upper 70s. And then a few showers in on Friday with the chance for a thunderstorm. Cold front arrives, highs in the 70s. After that front goes by, the Labor Day weekend looks dry and comfortable with high temperatures in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
In West Hartford, 84 eastbound between exits 43 and 44. Looks like the right and center lanes are taken out due to a multi-vehicle crash. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, how'd you get your water heater fixed so fast?
Ayala Home Services, same-day plumbing. I gave them a call, and they had a plumber on their way. They even sent the plumber's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day plumbing, call, click, or text today and say, hello, Ayala. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson, letting you know you can now hear me weekdays, noon till 2, right here on WTIC. Now you can listen live every day. I'll cut through the talking points and get straight to the truth. I'm going to give you my unfiltered take on politics, culture, and faith, and cover all the news as it happens. Join me weekdays, noon till 2. It's the Eric Erickson Show on WTIC. NewsTalk 1080.
Hugs from patients, like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now, it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire.
Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hello, this is Mary from Berlin. Our family chose Alair Elder Law to help us in getting our mom into the right nursing home that worked best for her and our family. Once that was completed, Alair told me as the power of attorney what I needed to do to save as many assets as I could. Alair Elder Law is a firm that I could bounce things off of, and I trust in their judgment and guidance.
Find out more at alairelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Hi. With SimpleSaleUSA.com and I Buy Houses Cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
All right, we're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Got a lot of people in the chat rooms talking about this subject, about the Newington arrest by ICE at the car wash. Mark in West Hartford was down there and spoke to one of the brothers of one of the detainees and found out that they are in Massachusetts and they are going, I guess they're going to end up in Mexico and in Guatemala. The brothers also, one of the brothers also believes that he will probably be picked up next. And he said something else interesting, which I'm going to save till later. I thought this was insane, but it just shows you how this whole immigration thing goes. But what we're talking about, we got Brian Shackman coming in at 4:30 today. He was supposed to be in this hour, but he had some other engagements that sort of switched up on him, and he had to reassess those or realign those so he could come on the show. So I'm welcoming him here because we haven't really done a back and forth since election night. And Brian and I differ on a lot of things. He is a registered independent. He considers me far right. I consider myself always right. But nonetheless, this subject, immigration, is a wedge issue. And with the efforts of Tom Homan and, of course, let's just say Donald Trump's administration, that people have been uneasy about the things that are happening and the optics of it, which are skewed, but I don't need to get into all of that. I just want to get into the statements because even though Brian came out and said that he's against the comparisons to Nazi Germany, that people are saying that he still kind of went down that road. Here's again that part.
And then the critics have said, well, this is like Nazi Germany. And then that triggers a whole bunch of other things. And I think that whether it's Democrats or people that aren't comfortable with it, that kind of dialogue just needs to stop. Because there's not some...
So, and he talks about there's not any genocide going on. And then in the next breath, he talks about this book he was reading about Germans.
And I think I'm reading this book called The German Wife, and I'm only halfway through it. But I think this is the whole thing when there's something that so obviously doesn't feel right, like this thing in Newington where we don't know anything about these people, but they were picked up while they're working at a car wash and taken away. We don't know who they are.
Now, again, I understand the optics here that say, ICE just rolls up on a neighborhood car wash and people just get thrown into vans and in handcuffs, and you look at it and go, wow, like that's, hey, is it a shock to the system? Yes, I'll address that. There's a reason why it's a shock to the system. But, of course, he brought up the book that he's reading, but he made it clear he doesn't want to make the associations. But then he brought up the book again, and he uses the phrase Nazi Germany. And I think that's where if you're listening to him, you in one breath, you kind of hear him saying you shouldn't make the comparisons, but keeps kind of making the comparisons.
You know, in reading this book, is basically about German families who came over to join their scientist husbands who were basically Nazis, but they were helping the U.S. rocket program. And it was the tension about having these people come over and being allowed to stay here. And I'm just getting through the book.
Now, I don't understand exactly where the connection is, which is why, again, I want him on the show. Because if you're listening to him and you're going, well, what connection are you making? And because Brian doesn't take phone calls, you can't really ask him and he can't really address it. He just wanted to make the statement and say, hey, listen, this is how I feel and this is what's going on. And I don't want to be the person who never said anything. So, here's where it really, really gets deep on Brian, because, again, his concern is he doesn't want to be a guy who had a platform who didn't say anything. If 30 years down the road we find out that what happened was really, really wrong, what we did to these people were very wrong.
And I don't want to wake up in 30 years and find out all these stories about these innocent people who are parents, who are paying their taxes, who are good people, whose lives were ruined because somebody, 1,000 miles away, 800 miles away wants to make sure that 3,000 people a day who shouldn't be here are taken out of here.
I'm just going to leave that one there. I'll ask him about that afterwards. Now, here's probably my biggest concern in this, because this sentiment that Brian shares in this next clip is emblematic of a lot of people. But I guess I will answer it when he's on, but I want to play it so you can hear it.
It's horribly uncomfortable. And if you don't see it, then okay. But I don't want to sit here anymore and read about it. I've been talking to my wife about this without going on the record that if these people aren't convicted criminals, if their only crime is that they entered this country illegally, then give them, and they're paying taxes and doing work, give them an opportunity to do it right. And then maybe if they miss those opportunities, then we have a conversation. But grabbing them in the middle of the day while they're wiping down cars, who are we? Like, who are we?
Okay. Now, this notion that they pay taxes, they do not. They pay taxes that all of us can avoid. Sales taxes. Can't avoid those. They're not paying their taxes. Even if some of them are with the TIN, not all of them are filling out taxes. Okay? It is an assumption to say that they are all, millions of them, filling out taxes. They're not. A lot of them get paid off the books. A lot of them are on the government teat. We all know that. To suggest or to treat them as one group in a monolith is misguided. And the other part is like giving somebody a pathway to citizenship after they've committed a crime is not a recipe for keeping people out of the country. It is rewarding bad behavior. We have plenty of people who are still waiting for their citizenship legally. How do I know this? Because I have people in my family who are still waiting for their citizenship legally. They are still fighting the process, waiting years upon years upon years, and we still take in 1 million. These people skipped the line, broke the law, got into the country. We should not be treating them with any kid gloves and giving them a pathway to citizenship while we already have others who are following the correct pathway. They do not get special treatment, and I don't care if they're picking your crops. I don't care if they're cleaning your toilets. I don't care if they're doing slave labor, and I don't care, damn sure don't care, if they're helping poverty in their own countries by giving half their salaries or sending half their salaries back. So that is where a lot of, but then nobody even mentioned the fact that Brian says that and they have an issue with that. But again, I know people who feel this way or agree with it. They say these people, they're good people, they're doing the right thing. All they did was cross the border illegally. Well, I sort of look at it as a broken windows thing. If they crossed illegally and that's a crime and we're forgiving that crime, then let's not have it be a crime at all. Right? if all of them are good and we get to assume that they are all good people, who gets the, and again, I will also argue, nobody is willing to tell us who they are. You heard Justin Elliker on this program in November. It's the reason why he'll never come back to this show. Who are these people? Can you tell us who these people are? Well, no, I don't know who these people are. I never ask. I just know they're here and I'm here to protect them. That's not a benefit to anybody. So when you say give a pathway to these people, why? Why do they get special treatment? And now the last statement that pretty much ends it all. Here's Brian.
And the thing about the Nazi Germany, there are people who just were like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. So
now again, he doesn't want to make the Nazi comparison. And again, if you're listening and then you go back and you listen to it and then he goes back to the Nazi thing again, it lends itself to believing that he's making a comparison, okay? So in that case, I go, and again, after the first two times, I can give it a pass. But right here, it sounds like while you're trying to say not to make the Nazi comparison, you kind of go back to it.
I'm going to be quiet, right? I don't want to go against the government because they could ruin my life. So I'm going to be quiet. And like, that's the thing we can't do is like, if something's clearly not right, we need to be able to talk about it without fear of retribution.
Okay. So that's it. That's pretty much the long and short of it. That's what he said. He used the word authoritarianism, which I thought, and again, from a lot of folks that, are in opposition to this effort, using that word a lot, and are concerned about authoritarianism for people who don't belong here. Authoritarianism was actually inflicted on American citizens. I brought a list. See, authoritarianism would be every American at risk of being deported because we don't like what they say. But here's the list. These are examples of authoritarian ideals and actions in the country. COVID-19 vaccine mandates. The Supreme Court blocked a broad employer mandate in January of 2022, ruling it exceeded OSHA authority. That was a mandate by the President of the United States. Pressure on social media for censorship. Investigation revealed the administration coordinated with platforms like Facebook and Twitter to flag and suppress content deemed misinformation. The labeling of dissenters as domestic threats. That happened. The DOJ and the FBI under Biden investigated parents protesting at school board meetings. Those are facts. An extension of the eviction moratorium. That's authoritarian rule over renters. Student loan forgiveness. Disinformation Governance Board. And let's not talk about the prosecution of political opponents. Moving illegals out of the country or people who have refused to go back to court when they were supposed to and getting them out of the country is not authoritarian. It's the law. They are illegal. And just because you call them undocumented doesn't change it. It may change the way you express it, but it doesn't change what the facts are. Undocumented people are illegal. We'll get to some more of that, plus your phone calls when we return. Stand by. Go nowhere. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
The following is a paid commercial advertisement.
From the Wall Street Sweeper Money Desk, we're with Russ Hackman, president of Hackman Wealth Partners. And Russ, it's all about retirement planning with you, but why worry about taxes in retirement? I mean, don't we all go down to a lower tax rate?
It is a common misunderstanding that your tax rates are going to go down in retirement. In fact, the government is coming to tax your 401k and IRA money. And if you look at the schedule of what may happen to you, in many cases, people have escalating taxes in retirement. You want to have a tax plan in place to make sure that that doesn't happen to you.
For a comprehensive review, no cost, no obligation, 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Discussion of safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products and are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance company.
The Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 807-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. And again, Brian Shackman is going to join us at 4:30. We'll talk about that. I was hoping to have him on, but like I said, life happens, as it always does. So when you, what's the line that I always tell the kids? If you want to make God laugh, make plans. It always happens every time when I try to make plans. I've got plenty of other news and views to get into today, so stand by for that. And we'll wait for Brian to come in, and we'll talk about the conversation we were just having. So I wanted to break all of that down so that you sort of got a scope of what this whole discussion is about. And the immigration thing, the Newington thing was interesting to me because, as I expressed yesterday, and I think that was the reason why I got the phone call, the Newington situation was interesting because it reminded me of the Meriden High School thing. And the part that was so crazy about it was everybody was in an uproar that was in power. Mayor of Meriden was on the news, on WFSB. This is very concerning. The mayor of Newington, he's putting out a statement, deeply concerned. Justin Elliker, we were not informed. And my response to that is going, you guys said you didn't want to cooperate. I mean, you guys passed a law not to cooperate. You didn't want to talk to anybody about assisting them in getting people out of the country who didn't belong here. You stood fast. We're going to protect them. We're not a sanctuary state, but we're going to protect them. I was just watching Connecticut. What was it? NBC Connecticut. You know, in one breath, celebrating the red carpet of children coming back to school. Hey, kids, welcome back. Maybe we'll get 35% of you proficient in reading and math, or whatever. But anyway, it was welcome back to the school. Parents are concerned that ICE may be coming. What? That ICE may be coming to the school to come haul out third graders? Really? So there's all of this constant talking and, wow, and talk about the screaming and hollering of mis and disinformation. There seems to be a lot of that going around. But there has to be some point where someone's got to explain. I tried to get the mayor of Newington on the program. Tried to get a statement from him. If I couldn't get him on the program, try to get a statement. They became indignant with me. And why? Is because the only point of view you're supposed to have on this is theirs. And if you don't even consider it, Don in the chat room is saying it too. He's like, okay, he says he feels uncomfortable. But dare I ask him the question, what exactly do you feel uncomfortable about? He couldn't answer it. He just knows that he's supposed to feel uncomfortable. That's the rule. I feel uncomfortable about this. What do you feel uncomfortable about? About the thing. I don't know. And that's the same case with these mayors and public officials, as it were. And again, like a bunch of mind-numb robots, the media are just, stenographers. Oh, you're deeply concerned. Okay, I'll write down that you're deeply concerned. All right, okay. So, anyway, we'll talk about all of that and much, much more. We've got plenty of stuff to get into today. Let me see. There is... Sorry, I want to get to this real quick. Nah, that's not necessary. Okay, I'm reading something that just came over the wire. I'll address that in a second. But I've got more news, more views. We've got headlines coming up. Stupidest thing I read today. The force feeding of Chris Murphy is coming up as well. I've got to talk about that. Our between rounds winner is coming up. And there is a story that the violence is happening in conservative cities across the country. There is a list that I put together that dispels all of that. And I did serious work on this. I did so much work on this. This list is going to amaze you when you hear it about the top 20 cities with crime and who runs them. And let me just begin by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? Wow, that's right. Of 20, the top...
Gotta
20,
roll.
Oh, darn it. I didn't realize that. Thank you. Let's get to the WTIC Newsroom with John Silva. It's Reese on the Radio. We'll be back.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, Hartford, temperature 76 degrees. Good afternoon. In Waterbury, police still trying to negotiate with a barricaded suspect in a home. This all unfolded on Buckland Drive early this morning, stemming from a domestic incident. There's a shelter in place for one nearby school. Officers asking the public to steer clear of the area for the time being. Second person has died in a shooting incident in New Haven. Officers called Monday afternoon to Dickerman Street. They found 2 victims. 26-year-old male died first. 32-year-old man was rushed to the hospital where he later died as well. Names of the victims have not yet been released by police, who are still looking for suspects and trying to determine a motive for those shootings. On the first day of classes at Hartford's Martin Luther King Middle School, they literally rolled out the red carpet for the boys and girls returning for the new school year. It was courtesy of the group Calling All Brothers. They've been welcoming city school children back for a decade now, offering support cheers and high fives. The men come from different backgrounds, much like many of the students as well. Lisa Moore, whose son is a student at MLK Middle, tells WFSB the initiative sends a positive message to the kids.
To be honest, it's like an honor, given the school and the name on it. Basically, I feel like it's a lot of support.
The group plans several back-to-school events this week. A Minnesota state lawmaker who was shot at his home in June is now calling on Americans to reject political violence.
State Senator John Hoffman received a standing ovation as he took the podium at this week's meeting of the Democratic National Committee in Minneapolis.
We must call Americans to action in ways that don't incite intimidation and political violence.
Hoffman was shot 9 times.
You want to see the pattern on my body? It's the same pattern that's in my red door that I no longer have.
His wife was shot 8 times and also survived. The gunman killed State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband at their home. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Lines being drawn between the Trump administration and those in Illinois who say the National Guard is not needed to fight crime, as Trump has ordered for Washington, D.C.
President Trump is also facing increased pushback from Democratic governors, warning him not to send National Guard troops to their states as the president weighs expanding his anti-crime initiative in Washington, D.C. to other cities, including Chicago.
I'm willing to go to Chicago, which is a big trouble, but we have a governor that refuses to admit he has problems.
Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has indicated the state is prepared to fight in court if troops are sent.
Correspondent Natalie Brand at the White House. The president says he will seek the death penalty for those who commit murders in the District of Columbia.
That's a very strong preventative, and everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, it is, we have no choice.
Democratic West Hartford State Representative Jillian Gilchrist is running for Congress in the 1st District. She made that official on social media this morning.
People are struggling. Life is way too expensive for folks, and it's going to take a lot of work to continue to protect against Donald Trump's destruction and to rebuild. But in this moment, we also have an opportunity to do things differently and better.
Gilchrist and others looking to seek longtime incumbent John Larson, who's held that seat since 1999. WTIC News Time is 3:04, and checking traffic on this first day back to school for many kids heading home. So take it easy on the roads wherever you are. In East Hartford, we have road work on the westbound side of 84 between exits 56 and 51 for about another 25 minutes or so. 91 down in Meriden, southbound side between 17 and 15 as you approach the 15 interchange there. Left lane still blocked for work there. Delays Milford on 95 southbound between exits 39 and 36. And so far, we're in pretty good shape, actually, on Route 8 and the Merritt-Wilbur Cross Parkways seem to be traveling well. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
September-like weather across the area through at least the next couple of days and nights. For the rest of today, pleasant and breezy. A mix of sun and clouds along with low humidity. High temperature of 78. Partly cloudy tonight. It'll be cool overnight with a low of 54. Tomorrow looks nice. Sunshine, patchy clouds again. Low humidity, high 75. Then mostly clear and cool tomorrow night with a low of 51. In fact, dropping into the 40s tomorrow night across some outlying areas. Partly sunny on Thursday. It'll become a little warmer Thursday afternoon. The humidity will stay low. Thursday's high near 80. The next front to come along could bring us a couple of showers on Friday and maybe a thunderstorm. Mostly cloudy with a high temperature 74. Then for Saturday to kick off the long holiday weekend, partly sunny. Can't rule out a brief shower. High 74. Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds, low humidity, high 78. And for Labor Day itself, mostly sunny and nice, with a high once again of 78. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow up 39 points. NASDAQ's ahead 42. S&P is up 10 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, baseball fans, you can win tickets to a Boston Red Sox game with the Red Sox Player of the Game contest. Just listen when we announce the player of the game during the 7th inning stretch. That would be during the break in the middle of the 7th inning, during every game broadcast on WTIC. Then tune into Brian and Company the following morning at 8:10. Know the player of the game, be the correct caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming game in Boston. It's the Red Sox Player of the Game contest, only on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Low testosterone affects many men today, even men as young as 30. But finding someone you can trust for quality low T treatment isn't so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice. And that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health right here in Warwick. As a Promedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health has the experience and expertise to get you the right treatment for your particular medical situation. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. In fact, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing impacts low T treatments have. If you're like most men, you'll sleep better, have more energy and improve mental clarity, get better gains in the gym, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Anyway, we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. Brian Shackman coming up at about 4:30, so join us for that conversation as well. And I got plenty of other news and plenty of views. We got to talk about the nonprofit grand jury. We finally got some documents on that case about Blue Hills. Also, we have another Hartford councilman who used $14,000 on a trip with his family. He's in court. I think he was in court yesterday. About that. We'll talk about that as well. And what's this other thing that I had here? Oh, yeah. We got to talk about the cities that are run by whom that have the most violence out of 20. Six out of the 20 that have the most violence are run by white mayors. 6 of the 20. I did an exhaustive list to get some of the breakdowns here. And we'll talk about Brandon Johnson on MSNBC, frustrating the hell out of Morning Joke because he wouldn't answer one question. It's really, really bad. But let's get to some headlines. Speaking of violence in the city, homicides and shootings are down in Hartford so far this year, according to police. Even as they investigate 2 weekend shootings, one deadly, Hartford police say that there have been fewer homicides and assaults by gunfire in past years. The fatal shooting of Nijay Vernon, 25 of Blue Hills Avenue in the city was the 7th homicide of 2025. Lieutenant Aaron Boisvert said police have made arrests in 6 other killings this year. He said Monday that we were very active. They were very active in their investigation into Vernon's death. At this time of the year, there were 13 homicides, Boisford said, almost twice as many. And on August 25th, Hartford had seen 28 killings that year, of 2023, I should say, 4 times as many. And so non-fatal assaults by gunfire dropped slightly since last year and significantly since 2023, according to police department statistics. Now, of course, that will only lend to people saying, well, what are they fudging, Reese? There's been no accusation of that. Calm down. And if these numbers are true, we should be happy about that. And Mayor Roonin should, take a victory lap. But still, we need to get it down to 0. Trump offers advice to Cracker Barrel. As you all know, Cracker Barrel has gone through its rebranding, and they've so far admitted that they made a mistake after telling us that people really love the idea. Now they're saying, we don't always get it right. You told us you had it right, and you spoke to people, and they were happy about it, and now they're not. I saw this other blogger talking about that this had everything. The rebrand had nothing to do with being woke. It had everything to do with selling property. But whatever, if you see that, dismiss it. It's a joke. Because Cracker Barrel's own website said the reason why they rebranded was because of woke. Okay? This whole don't believe your lying eyes, please don't. I'm not even hearing that. But here's what Donald Trump said. He said Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, and manage the company better than ever before. He said they got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but great opportunity, he wrote, adding that it's time to make Cracker Barrel a winner again. This is probably the most controversial thing that I read yesterday, and I want to thank Julie in Boston for sending this to me. Southwest Airlines has gotten himself in a bit of a plus-size problem. Southwest Airlines' popular pick-your-own-seat perk isn't the only policy on the chopping block. The budget carrier announced that a new measure that may require plus-size passengers to fork over extra dough starting in January of 2026. Those flyers who encroach upon the neighboring seat will be required to purchase an extra seat in advance, according to CBS News. To ensure space, we are communicating to customers who have previously used the extra seat policy that they should purchase it at booking. Reps for the low-cost airline said in a statement, this marks a major change for the current policy in which plus-size passengers can proactively purchase an additional seat with the option of being refunded later or request a free extra seat at the airport. Under the new mandate, the second seat is non-refundable unless the flight isn't fully booked at the time of departure. And if both the passengers, tickets are booked at the same fare class. Okay, in other words, by the same class ticket. However, the passenger needs to request their money back within 90 days of the flight. And now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
After everything that we heard about Ivy League colleges getting in trouble for anti-Semitism and being woke and admissions failures, Columbia University has not learned its lessons. According to that, a mandatory training for Columbia law students, they said in a acquired audio tape by the Free Beacon, the Washington Free Beacon, they are warning that the terms crazy uncle and grandfathering could be offensive. And they've attacked Donald Trump for complimenting the president of Liberia on his English. Do you remember when the president of Liberia was in the Oval Office? They said that President Trump's statements to the president of Liberia about his English was a microaggression, which incidentally is now one of the buzzwords Democrats are telling people that they shouldn't use anymore. So Columbia University is saying that we need to get rid of the term grandfathering and crazy uncle because these are somehow Jim Crow-era terminologies. And I just heard somebody use the term, I think it was Craig in the car, just recently used the term grandfathering in. I think it had to do with his country club enrollment. I'm sorry, I just thought that was hilarious. That when talking about being a member of a country club, he talked about being grandfathered in, which is now a microaggression. Oh, there's just so much irony in all of that. Craig, don't feel bad. I know you're going to call me and curse me out for doing that, but I just thought it was funny. Yeah, so not learning their lessons, now everything turns out to be maddening. It's just maddening. I wish they would get it together. It isn't working. It makes people look stupid, silly. Just no one talks like this. As soon as somebody uses the term, I remember the first time the term unhoused was used. I went, what? Unhoused? And someone tried to argue, it was like, what? It gives homeless people dignity. Yes, I'm sure that when they're picking food out of the garbage, they feel better about the term in which they're called unhoused. It's ridiculous. Sounds like a rerun of New Coke, the Cracker Barrel thing. Raymond, you might be right. I don't remember how New Coke or the Coca-Cola company apologized for New Coke. Does anybody remember like how they did that? Because I can't say it was awful. I could tell that it was new, like it was a different flavor, but I don't remember how they apologized for it or whether or not they just stopped selling it. If anybody remembers that, please let me know. I don't know. I thought that was crazy. Let me get to this first before I go to the phone, so stand by, everybody. The mayors of several cities across the country, Westmore of Maryland, and the governor of Maryland, Westmore, and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois are pushing back on Donald Trump's threats, for lack of a better word, to bring in the National Guard to cut down crime. And in this argument in the last couple of weeks, it has been that Donald Trump is only targeting cities run by African Americans. They are also suggesting that they don't have a crime problem. And that we all know is nonsense. But when I heard this thing about him only targeting African American cities, and libs trying to push back and say, but there are conservative or Republican states that have high crime in them as well, I said, well, wait a minute. No state or no violence is ever defined by the state. They are always defined by its major city. It's always been that way. And it is a spin that cannot be left sort of unsaid. So I figured I'd break it down. And I looked at the cities that rank 1 through 20 based upon crime statistics. Now, I won't go through all of them, but I want to go through a couple. And I'll start from 20 and work my way back. Let's start with 20. Now, I'm going to do something that many people may say is provocative, but so what? Get over yourself. Number 20. Oh, this one's going to make the producer upset. Number 20, New Orleans. That is run by a black female Democrat. Number 19, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That is run by a white male Democrat. Fresno, California is run by a white male Republican. San Bernardino, California is run by an Asian woman. Denver, Colorado is run by a white Democrat. Aurora, Colorado is run by a white Republican male. Tulsa, Oklahoma is run by a black Democrat male. Anchorage, Alaska. Apparently, this is nonpartisan Democrat leaning, but white female. Chicago, Illinois. You know it's a male, black Democrat. Indianapolis, white Democrat male. Top 10, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, black male Democrat. Number 9, Stockton, California, female, white Democrat. Cleveland, Ohio, black male Democrat. Kansas City, Missouri, black male Democrat. Baltimore, Maryland, black male Democrat. St. Louis, Missouri, white female Democrat. Detroit, Michigan, white male Democrat. Memphis, Tennessee, black male Democrat. Little Rock, Arkansas, black male Democrat. Oakland, California at the number 1 spot, black female Democrat. Now, again, on the Republican side, 2 out of 20. Black Democrat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And the top 3 cities on the list are all black male black Democrats. 1 female, 2 males. And that is Oakland, Little Rock, and Memphis. That is the crime statistics as far as it being the most dangerous. We don't get to a Republican on this list. And again, all of them Democrat out of the top 10. 7 in the top 10 are black. The other 3 are white in the top 10. We don't get to a Republican until we reach number 15 on the list, and then number 18 on the list. They're only Republicans. So what are they talking about? And look, all you have to do is just ask the folks of Chicago. Here's one man talking to News Nation, which is supposed to be the bipartisan News Nation, talking about how he feels in his city.
Our children can't walk around the community without fear of being hurt or kidnapped or having a drive-by. So it's what these numbers that they're expressing, we don't feel it in our quality of life.
They don't. They don't feel it in their quality of life. And Brandon Johnson really doesn't know what to do about that because, again, he's avoiding the police like the plague. Here he is on Morning Joke being asked point blank, could you use 5,000 more police officers? Of course he doesn't want more police officers. He thinks that's a loser in his party because saying he needs more police officers would be admitting defeat. And you could almost hear the frustration in Morning Joke as they ask him.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers, and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
You have to ask yourself why you can't say yes or no. It's just a question. Do you believe that more officers would assist in making the streets safer? Now, either he doesn't know or he just can't commit to more officers because, again, it would be going against, I guess, the talking points or what the party says he's supposed to say. I don't know. It's hard to make up. But it sounds, you can even see it and hear it. In Joe Scarborough, he's like, he's frustrated. Like, can't you just answer the question?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful?
No, they don't. Why are they gone then? They have a history of being successful. Why are they gone?
If that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Who thinks he's going to answer? I'm kidding. We all know the answer.
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
He doesn't have an answer because he never gave one after the fact. Just never did. And that goes to show you. It's just like, you know, it's actually kind of sad. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
AL Home Services. Same day electrical. I gave them a call and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. Openphone.com/TRY.
Now at McDonald's, wake up with a warm sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and add any size iced coffee for just $1.29. During breakfast hours only, price and participation may vary. Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Do you know what went down at the Viper Room the night River Phoenix died? Are you aware of how Steve McQueen escaped death at the hands of the Manson family? But what about the real-life brutal murder that inspired David Lynch's Twin Peaks? These stories and more are told in the Hollywoodland podcast, where true crime and Tinseltown collide. Follow and listen to Hollywoodland wherever you get your podcasts.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, Hartford temperature 76 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police in Waterbury have been trying to talk a barricaded person out of a home. It's been a standoff for several hours there on Buckland Drive following a domestic incident. 2 people have now died in a shooting in New Haven on Monday. Officers called to Dickerman Street. 26-year-old man first reported dead. The second victim, 32 years of age, later died as well. Hartford and several other cities and towns saw students return to the classroom today. First day of school for the 2025-26 school year. A group calling All Brothers was out at MLK Middle School to welcome the kids back. West Hartford Democratic State Representative Jillian Gilchrist has announced she will seek the nomination for Congress in the 1st District. She made the announcement on social media and during an appearance today in Blueback Square. Federal judge has dismissed the Trump administration's lawsuit against Maryland's entire federal bench in a ruling that accuses the White House of trying to smear judges who ruled against it. WTIC News Time 3:31. Here's the forecast.
Breezy and pleasant the rest of this afternoon. Sun and clouds along with low humidity. High 78. Partly cloudy tonight and cool. Low 54. Tomorrow looks nice. A good deal of sunshine. High 75 and clear. Cool weather tomorrow night. Low 51. Thursday, partly sunny and becoming a little warmer, but not too humid. High 80. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a couple of showers in the area. Perhaps a thunderstorm. High 74. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And the markets have ticked up somewhat as we head toward the closing bell. The Dow's up 107 points. NASDAQ is up 70 and the S&P is up 20. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romances in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I had lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
Oh my. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminar Thursday, September 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn, Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter. And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey. Whoa. Let's not put all 100 candles on the cake. It'll ruin the frosting and probably set the place on fire. And there's expensive radio equipment in here, too.
We're back. Reese on the Radio, WTIC, News Talk 1080. And we're going to get to your phone calls later. Stand by. We got Brian Shackman from the morning show. Brian and Company. I almost said Brian in the morning. Brian and Company. That would have been a cheesy name. Brian and Company is going to be on the program. We're talking about the Newington arrest of the 7 individuals that ended up in Massachusetts. As I said, Mark in West Hartford is actually a patron of that car wash. And we're talking about he stands by their work. He loves it. He sent me a picture of his car. He just got the $19 wash on the outside to actually go and get some recon as well, sort of get some information about what took place. And sure enough, somebody was very forthcoming. Turns out one of the people detained, his brother worked there as well. And he spoke to him, and I heard the audio. It's unfortunate, like the audio's a little bad to play on radio. It's just, I would have to describe it to you. So that's what I'm going to do instead of playing it. And Mark pretty much just asked the guy, hey, what went on? And, what took place? He's trying to be very empathetic, to the events of Saturday. And he was like, yeah, it's messed up. They took them, they came and they got 7 people. And he then went on to say that, you never know, they could be coming back to get me, which Mark thought was odd, as did I. Like, okay, are you saying that they're... Now, again, in my head, I'm asking, is he suggesting that he has some legal immigration issues or illegal immigration issues, or was he saying they could come and get me just because he's brown? But Mark didn't go any further into that. But Mark wanted to get more information about the arrest from ICE. So here's what he learned, was that the 7 were grabbed. His brother, this particular guy's brother, is in Massachusetts, and he has spoken to him. And he says that he's okay, but he is in Massachusetts. What Mark found interesting, and as did I after hearing it, was that the brother says that you never know, he could come back. Mark asked him, do you think he'll come back? And he goes, yeah, he might come back. He may have to do it all over again. But then he said something that blew my mind. And that was, maybe after Trump's out of office, then he can come back. And which to me says a lot when you think about it. Because they really think that this is just Trump. That it's just Trump. Trump has said, I want them out, so they've all got to go. Now, there's a little bit of truth to that. He is the president of the United States. It is his administration. And everyone in their jobs serves at the pleasure of the president of the United States. This is his agenda. He was elected on it. And immigration since 2015 is what he stood on. And he's going about it because, and this isn't, and this is the other part, it's like, don't people stop acting like that he's not responding to something. Go ahead, Roland. Did you want to jump in?
I was just going to say, there may be a little bit of truth to that, because when I worked at Espen.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember Monday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
It used to be, I forgot his name. Is it Hank? He used to say, "Are you ready for some football?"
Oh, yeah, Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, they got rid of him for the Obama years, then brought him back when Trump came in office the first time.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so he, I I think he said something about Obama.
Yes, he
I
did.
guess
He was
didn't
very
like-
vocal about
yeah.
his distaste for
he
Barack
didn't like,
Obama.
He didn't like Obama. So Disney and ESPN decided we're not going to use you for Monday Night Football. So we had to revamp and do a whole new Monday Night Football situation.
They did. I remember they changed the
for
whole
8 years.
Yeah. It's
And
funny
then-
because Bob Iger, the head of Disney, was very instrumental in the removing of Roseanne on
Yeah.
her program because of her online attacks of Valerie Jarrett. Yeah, so that's a good point.
It is.
So you're
I'm not
saying
I'm not saying it's like some great percentage, but it is something.
No. That
You gotta.
where
got a
there's
little
smoke,
point
there's
to it.
fire, as they
Yeah.
say, right?
Yep.
That's a good point. So there's this idea that, well, at least the young man's brother says, hey, after Donald Trump is gone, maybe he can come back into the country. Because of course, if a Democrat ends up, being, beating J.D. Vance, who is the presumptive nominee at this point, if not Marco Rubio, if Democrats get into power, I'm sure the first thing they're going to do is to reverse that role of ICE and, work on a pathway to citizenship or do something along those lines. And which is quite likely. It is quite likely. Again, the president of the United States sets the agenda. So, the fact he said, I just thought it was interesting that he said it out loud. So anyway, we'll get into that. Chris Murphy. Let me talk about this because I didn't get to it yesterday. I looked up whether or not there is let's say, an interest in Chris Murphy in any meaningful way. Because no matter where you look, there is a new article about Chris Murphy. And I feel like it's manufactured. I said yesterday near the end of the show, well, pretty much at the end of the show, I used the example of Black Lives Matter and Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, now Meta. And he really wanted Black Lives Matter to have a political foothold. And in order to do that, he had to manufacture their presence on the social media platform. So while he was shadow banning conservative viewpoints, he was promoting Black Lives Matter and other groups like them. And in doing so, Black Lives Matter became an artificial juggernaut. And I am equating that with the coverage of Chris Murphy. Because when you ask around, when it came to Black Lives Matter during that time, 2013, 2014, 2015, 67% of African Americans were opposed to the idea of Black Lives Matter, primarily because they weren't showing up at gang shootings and children who were being shot in Chicago. I mean, in 2016, they had a record of homicides in a year, over 845, I believe. And they weren't showing up for those lives that matter. So there was a resistance to it. And sure enough, white liberals glommed onto it. I'm saying the same thing about Chris Murphy. No matter where you look, there's another press release, another article written, another news station that is focusing on Chris Murphy. And there's also some fundraising that he's also being lauded for. He pulled up $1 million this week, $10 million in this time. He's not running for re-election. What's the money for? And he's received the spotlight. It's the best way to put it. So I did this. What is the chatter online about Chris Murphy's chances? Positive or supportive chatter. Fundraising and early moves as strengths. Many users and articles highlight Murphy's aggressive fundraising, e.g. $8 million in Q1 of 2025, despite no re-election until 2030, as a sign that he's gearing up for 2028. Later reports note he hauled in even more, positioning him within a well-crowded field. On X, users speculate that this gives him an edge. I'm reading this poorly. Okay. One calling him far more Machiavellian than Kamala Harris and predicting he could win the primary and general election, some people say. Inclusion in 2028 contender list. Murphy appears in numerous media roundups of potential Democrat hopefuls, alongside figures like Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, and Gretchen Whitmer. Reddit threads on social democracy discuss him as a unifying centrist, leaning progressive option, with some users favoring him for his populism and gun control advocacy. One ex-user predicted he could lead the pack, citing his policy focus, his populism appeal, and anti-Trump stance. Interviews and posts praise his calls for Democrats to embrace aggressive populism against Trump, seen as a winning strategy. His recent criticism of Trump and Putin's meeting and healthcare policies have boosted his visibility, with supporters on X viewing it as clever. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm just reading it. I don't want to give you any opinion. Speculative predictions in early 2028 forecasts. He's listed among top contenders. Is he? Really? Okay. Where is this? Where is that happening? I have to find that data. I'm sorry, I have to find where that is. He's polling at 0.4%. I guess they're just going on maybe a couple of losers. Anyway, negative and skeptical chatter. This one's good. Low charisma and voter appeal. Critics, including conservatives and some Democrats, call him boring and lacking broad appeal, comparing him to Tom Cotton as an intellectual class favorite with zero appeal with any real voters. Ex-posts predict he would fizzle like getting 1% of New Hampshire. Others calling him a lightweight with zero shots. This one I cannot read because I'll put it to you this way. This is a personal attack that even I can't stand for, and I'm not a fan of his. And let's just say this way, that mentioning the fact that he's going through a divorce, okay, he's going through a divorce. I've gone through several. But the thing that I thought was unnecessary was referring to his significant other, I guess the young lady he's dating, as it wasn't an expletive word. It's a word I can use, but I just won't use it because I won't dignify it. Okay? It's a horrible thing to say about a woman. It is. And I'm not talking about, like I said, it's not an expletive. It's actually a word that you can say on the air, but I just can't say it because I feel horrible even suggesting it. You have to read it yourself. But it's not a nice thing to say about a lady, whether you like her ideologically or not. Okay, it's just not a nice thing. She may have the wrong point of view, but that's just me. And last but not least, electoral doubts. Some worried he dragged Democrats down, especially in swing states. They note his low polling and evidence that he is not viable. That's what most people are saying. As I said in some of those polls, he's looking at 0.4% amongst other likely Democrats. So I kind of feel like his whole thing is just manufactured and trying to turn him into a candidate. And I don't know whether or not that's because they don't feel like Gavin Newsom is viable. Maybe they don't like Pete Buttigieg. They don't want to go down that well anymore. But Wes Moore has pretty much suggested he's not going to run. Who else is there that they were talking about? Cory Booker had a shot. I don't know if that shot's realistic. He's been performing. The performance stuff is just way too much. Anyway, we move on. Let's get to some other stuff. We'll take a break. More news, more views. The Hollywood news is going to be great for you 80s fans. Don't go anywhere. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
I'm attorney Haley Allaire. At Alaire Elder Law, we recommend that anyone over 18 consider making certain legal documents, though by retirement age, it is most important to build your plan. For example, a power of attorney can be helpful when you're away at college as much as in the event of incapacity. The earlier you start planning for the possibility that assistance may one day be needed, the more choice you have over what happens next. Find out more at AlaireElderLaw.com. That's AlaireElderLaw.com. Alaire Elder Law. Compassionate counsel and proven results.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, the original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This Labor Day weekend, we're selling Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hello, we are back this Tuesday on WTIC News Talk 1080. Hartford's WFSB's I-Team found that a Hartford city councilman already accused of stealing money from the church he worked for used city money inappropriately. Hartford officials say that Alex Thomas misused city-issued purchase card, but Thomas tells the I-Team that that's not true. A report from the city's internal audit department found that Thomas violated the city's travel policy for personal gain, charging hundreds of extra dollars on the town clerk's card that he says he was allowed to do. According to the report, Thomas was approved to attend a work conference in Washington, D.C. in May. The trip was approved by the city council president, Shirley Surgeon, who's also one of the people who's very disappointed about the Blue Hills situation. And how that money, $300,000, got diverted without anyone knowing. There's some new details about that if you haven't heard. And it's interesting that no one's really talking about that, especially those in the Democrat Party. And has anybody heard from McCrory? I'm sorry, I digress. Let me get back. Anyway, town clerk Eric Lusa says that Thomas was allowed to take the town clerk's P card with him, but was only approved to use the card on the hotel. But according to this report, Thomas is alleged to have used over $14,000 or spent $14,000 on the card. Now, this sounds really like that Dalton mayor in Ohio that was, traveling to Las Vegas and eating at Bubba Gump's and coming back with souvenirs. And all types of other trinkets, with a whole staff going out there, going to seminars that, I guess, for grocery stores that never materialized in their city. And all of it was just, what was her name? Tiffany Henyard. That was her name. It reeks of that. It just does. It reeks of it. And I'm just going to say it, and I don't care. I just have to say it. Politics has always been a dirty game. We have always, I don't know anyone who hasn't suggested that corruption is inside politics every day. It is sort of the low-hanging fruit. When somebody is doing something, we immediately go to that person's corrupt, this person's corrupt. And sometimes I get a little ticked off about it because I go, all right, man, does everything have to be corrupt? I don't look at the world that way. I don't look at the world as like, you know what? It's got to be corrupt. It must be corrupt because they're corrupt. I don't. I really need evidence-based information. It's got to be evidence-based. But I will say this. I'm noticing the more and more some people are getting into politics, especially people who clearly don't belong in it. And I can tell them when I see them, they get into it, they always get that little itch to line their pockets. It just happens. And I don't know why. Like, it's never enough to just make your little stipend or your little salary. It always turns in a way to sort of, how can I get my wheels greased? And there's always somebody out there who's willing to grease them, and they can't avoid the temptation. It boggles the mind. It just is. It's just the fact that people have treated this like, not all, but there are so many that do. And let's just say it's always Democrats. No, I'm kidding. More often than not, okay? Let's be honest. More often than not. I know it sounds like I'm being partisan here, but you know what? I'll do you one favor. I'll do you one. I'll give you a little bit here, Democrats. I'll look it up. I'll see. I will stack them up and see whether or not the numbers are the same. I'm just saying. I wish it wasn't the case. We'll talk about McCrory in a little bit, so stand by for that. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson has got your weather. And Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
All right, I got to ask you this.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Did I see this last week? Chris Murphy, there was a picture of Chris Murphy, and he was wearing a T-shirt that said, President of the Reese Fan Club.
Yes.
Now, was that AI generated, or was that like some fake? What was that real, or was it AI?
No,
or what
somebody fashioned him wearing a shirt with that, and I couldn't help but post it because someone had done that earlier with an Al Sharpton picture. So I was showing the 10-year contrast.
Because I'm sitting there going, that can't be real, is it? I was like, oh my God, that's pretty good. I enjoyed that. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A&B, and again 27 to 28. Northbound 91 is moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound got some slow traffic now. 44 Prospect open into the tunnel. If you are traveling 5 and 15 northbound, a little slow as you merge onto 84 eastbound in East Hartford. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbounds looking good. Glastonbury and East Hartford. 9 northbound, some slow traffic. Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound, Waterbury slow 17 to 18. Again, some slow traffic. 26 in Cheshire down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 is a little tight. 22 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you're on the southbound side of the Parkway, look for slow traffic 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly sunny the remainder of today with a gusty breeze and low humidity. A high temperature in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 54 degrees. And nice weather tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine, just a few puffy clouds. Again, low humidity, high 75. Turning out clear and cool tomorrow night, low 51. Then turning a little warmer on Thursday. The humidity will stay low. Partly sunny on Thursday with an afternoon high of 80. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 76 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Waterbury police have taken a suspect into custody after a day-long barricade. The details from WTIC's Dave Mager.
It was around 1 a.m. when a woman reported a domestic incident involving her ex-boyfriend, according to police. It was verbal at first, but the woman says Devin Ramsubag went on to strike her car with his vehicle several times. He then barricaded himself inside 87 Buckland Drive. He was taken into custody mid-afternoon, police say, without incident. Ramsubag is a convicted felon. He faces a long list of charges, including reckless driving, criminal mischief, and illegal gun possession. Police recovered an AR-15 and ammo. There was a shelter in place at nearby Bucks Hill School, which has now been cleared. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Students from several cities and towns went back to school today across Connecticut. In Hartford, they literally rolled out the red carpet for the kids at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School. They were greeted by members of the group Calling All Brothers. They held their 10th annual back-to-school event and will do so at other schools throughout the week. A.J. Johnson is with the group.
This school, back in the day, was a community school where students would walk and come to school, so we wanted to have a presence here to let them know that this is a safe space, and that's what these brothers are out here for.
Audio there from WFSB. Reminders now for drivers and pedestrians alike as school buses return to the roadways. Westport Police Lieutenant Anthony Prezioso recommends drivers leave earlier than they had been over the summer to avoid running late.
Sharing the road with school buses does add a little bit to the morning commute. So give it that extra 5 to 10 minutes to get to your destination so that we're not rushing around out there and, finding yourself being one of those folks that is becoming incredibly impatient. That's something we see a lot of is, intentional illegal passing
What's up,
of school
Beckman?
buses just out of, I'm assuming, frustration.
He's reminding drivers about laws that now allow camera use on school buses to catch those who illegally pass a stopped school bus while it's picking up or dropping off students. Fines can be issued thereafter. President Trump, during a meeting of his cabinet today on his firing of Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Her attorney is filing suit against the administration for the move, saying she can't be removed without cause. Trump made allegations of mortgage fraud on social media and said later,
And we'll have a majority very shortly, so that'll be great. Once we have a majority, housing is going to swing and it's going to be great. People are paying too high an interest rate. That's the only problem with housing.
Cook has sided with Fed Chair Jerome Powell in not voting just yet to lower interest rates. The race for Congress in the 1st District here in Connecticut has become a little more crowded. West Hartford State Representative Jillian Gilchrist announcing today she will seek the Democratic nomination to replace longtime Congressman John Larson, who has held that seat for 26 years. Gilchrist says it's time for new leadership and that the people of the district should not have to struggle to live their lives. She's the second Democrat to announce for the nomination. Former Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin has announced his intention to seek the Democratic nomination as well. Big news on nuptials today with word that Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged. The couple's been dating for around 2 years. Kelce's teammate, defensive end Michael Dana, weighed in.
It's incredible, man. When I was hurt, I was caught off guard, but great for them, and, that's a blessing. Anytime you find that type of joy, happiness, and love, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Kelce and the Chiefs face the LA Chargers in the season opener for both September 5th in Brazil. Swift has a new album due out in October. Wall Street, Dow up 135 points, NASDAQ up 94, S&P up 26. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Between rounds. And congratulations to one of our listeners and lovers of bagels, Karen C. of Columbia. She is today's winner of Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. Like, I don't know where they are. You can get an opportunity to win if you go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You apply there, put in your telephone number and your date of birth. Those two are important, along with all of your other information. I will be sending you an email in the morning. When you win, look for it. That shouldn't end up in your spam, but it'll give you all the details on how you can, or the fact that you're a winner and what you should look out for. You will get that in the morning, and of course, we will announce it here roughly at about 4:06 during the show. So, and you also must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. Again, you cannot live outside of the state of Connecticut, and you must not have won in the last 6 months. When we come back, fact check from Reuters. Undocumented immigrants can and do pay taxes. That's interesting, Reuters, because according to visa records, that may not be true. We'll talk about that when we return. And, of course, so much more. We got to talk about this McCrory thing with the $300,000 that went missing and him telling people, shh, don't tell anybody. They found out. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson has got your weather. And Mark Christopher, again, is back in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. The traffic report is being brought to you by Amplify CT. And if you're traveling westbound 84 into Hartford, you got delays just after 56 Governor Street out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing just after 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. A little tight again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. If you are traveling southbound 91, look out for some slow traffic in Hartford approaching 33 to 32. Again, down by exit 28, Hartford Weather Seal Line. And again, slow traffic approaching 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway in Meriden. Northbound 91's quiet. Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 westbound slowing as you merge with 84 west. 9 northbound, you got some slow traffic. Harper Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound slowing by 18. Again, 84 eastbound is sluggish from 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84, some slow traffic. Cheshire into Waterbury. 26 to 25A. And again, 22 to the Mixmaster on the westbound side of 84. Southbound Parkway a little tight. 60 in Hamden down to the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the tunnel, and 95 South New Haven's tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Feeling the pressure? Press pause. Seriously, stepping away to play, even for just a little while, reduces stress, boosts your mood, and sharpens focus. Reclaim your calm. Press pause, go play, feel better. It works. Visit amplifyct.org for more ideas to amplify your mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A mixture of clouds and sunshine the rest of today with a pleasant breeze, low humidity. Humidity currently just 35%. High temperature today at 78 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight, low 54, and nice weather. Tomorrow, good deal of sun, high 75. Partly sunny on Thursday, a little warmer, not too humid. Thursday's high near 80. It's currently 75 at Windsor, now 77 degrees in Wallingford, and 76 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
If you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, you need to check out QC Kinetics and get long-lasting results without surgery. Call now to schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson, letting you know you can now hear me weekdays, noon till 2, right here on WTIC. Now you can listen live every day. I'll cut through the talking points and get straight to the truth. I'm going to give you my unfiltered take on politics, culture, and faith, and cover all the news as it happens. Join me weekdays, noon till 2. It's the Eric Erickson Show on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Looking to learn more about McLean's award-winning assisted living and memory care? Join McLean in Simsbury for a special panel discussion on September 18th at Hop Meadow Country Club. Meet our care team, get your questions answered, and enjoy light appetizers. Seating is limited. RSVP by September 10th. Then come back to McLean for an open house on September 23rd. No RSVP needed. Tour our beautiful community. Meet our staff or schedule a private tour at your convenience. McLean, where compassionate care meets community. Visit exploremclean.org.
Actual price. Product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
So we've got this story that we talked about a couple of weeks ago where the millions of dollars that was going to a nonprofit would have $300,000 missing. Another organization with $500,000 missing. And the FBI ended up raiding certain facilities to get to the bottom of it. Where the hell's our money? And it's important. How the heck did $300,000 go to the wrong account? And the details to this are quite daunting. Edmund Mahoney of the Hartford Kern is writing about it. The town of Bloomfield was surprised when $100,000 of a state grant was promised for its successful summer jobs program failed to arrive. It was stunned when it learned that the money had been quietly transferred to a new nonprofit, now the subject of a federal investigation. Excuse me, I have no idea what just happened there. Bloomfield's missing $100,000 had been quietly redirected. Oh, excuse me. This is bad.
Come on, get it right, bro.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Drink some water.
I may need to. Forgive me. I have no idea what just happened. I'm not even eating anything. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my voice just goes. I don't even sound like myself right now. That's weird. Please forgive me. That's very unprofessional. Anyway, Bloomfield missing $100,000 had been quietly redirected by an opaque transaction at the state legislature to the Society of Human Engagement and Business Alignment, known as SHIBA, the new nonprofit at the center of the grand jury investigation into the disbursement of tens of millions of dollars of state grants. SHIBA was created and operated by Sansere Cicero Hamlin, a close friend of State Senator Douglas McCrory, an influential legislator and powerful voice in the distribution of government grants, particularly in Hartford, where nonprofits play a vital role across the city's economically distressed north side. McCrory represents North Hartford and parts of the adjacent Bloomfield and Windsor. Since founding SHIBA in 2022, Cicero Hamlin has collected more than $3 million in government grants and consulting fees, according to a variety of records. Among the services SHIBA offers are job training and placement for minorities, Both McCrory, 58, and Cicero, 52, are subjects of a month-long federal investigation according to grand jury subpoenas, reviewed by the current, one which seeks all documents concerning any personal or non-professional relationship between the two. They have declined to discuss the matter. Subpoenas are requests for information. They are not accusations of guilt. Now, look, this is all a problem because, as I said earlier in the case in Hartford, if you are given the opportunity to skim, you will. And I talked to a young lady off the record who has dealt with Cicero Hamlin. And what she suggests gave me pause. She didn't levy any allegations to her. She didn't say that the woman was this, that, or the third, so there's no reason to even say that. But she just thought that all of this appeared inappropriate. And if that's the length of it, okay, fine, that will be the end of it. But somebody's got to tell me that is it okay for a person who has that kind of power to get government funds into the hands of charities should be giving that to someone he has a personal relationship, allegedly. He hasn't denied that is his significant other or they're dating or involved in any way. In fact, he refused to. I think the statement he said was, I'm not going to tell you who I'm sleeping with, or nor would I. I'm not going to tell you I'm not. I'm not going to tell you I am. He was pretty defiant about that. But I think it's a problem because all I hear in this place is how corrupt-a-cunt. That's what it is. It's corrupt-a-cunt. I heard that from somebody I would have never expected that to last week when I was in town. I was like, okay, I guess it goes without saying. Okay. But with that moniker, one of two things happen. You become the politician that says, I'm going to put an end to that. I don't want that ever to be aligned with me and what I represent. Or I'm going to say, oh, the hell with it. If that's what we do, that's what we do. I'm starting to think it's the latter. And the worst part about it is that these people are taking not, let me rephrase this, because I want this to be accurate in how I describe it. The people in Hartford, poor communities, disenfranchised communities, if that's how they self-describe, they didn't ask for anything. They don't have the power to get that money into their pockets. They don't. They can't go to the city council, legislature, and say, give everybody in our town this amount of money or this kind of training. They don't. They always go through a liaison, a leader, a person who speaks for them all. And then they take that taxpayer money and they give it to that individual and tells them, go out, help the people. This never, ever works. It doesn't. It never does. You cannot give money to anyone freely. You just can't. And people may think that that's wrong to say so. Then, Reese, what are these folks going to do? Fend for themselves? They're going to have to make a decision in their lives. They're going to have to make a decision. And look, let's go another step further. Let's just say, let's go the Reese on the Radio way on this. No more programs. Not a dime goes to the inner city. Not a dime goes to the poor communities. Forget about it. Don't ask. If you're one of these groups, I don't care who you are, Boys and Girls Club, feed the this and that and the third, I don't care. None of you get nothing. Now, so what do you suggest we do, Reese? Go online. What's the one thing you never hear about in those communities? That they have access online. Has there been a story out about anyone who is poor without a cell phone? The homeless have cell phones. The cell phone plans that they have with some of these providers are so cheap, a guy could panhandle in a day and pay his monthly bill. You know it's a fact. So they are not without the internet. They're not. And with the access to the internet, every person alive can research something to do. I'll give you a perfect example. I, technologically, moron. Absolutely. I'm not even a novice. I'm below novice when it comes to this figuring out technology. Wires go here, audio goes there, none of that. Do you want to know how I got this set up here in my house? I didn't go to school for any of it. It was trial and error and going online, watching video after video after video, figuring it out until it got to this. That's how I did it. I figured it out. It's so crazy. I developed the illusion. For those of you who are watching online, you guys know that there used to be a bookcase behind me. And you're probably watching now saying, well, the bookcase is still behind you. No, it isn't. That is a green screen of the bookcase. It's not even real. It's the same thing that I've had there for a year with a green screen behind it. The shelf isn't even there anymore. I figured all that out just by learning online. Everybody can learn how to get a job, how to start a business, how to get into the gig economy. All of it is there. In fact, I found out, I saw this guy, this one guy's YouTube page where he's got 20 things that you can do to make money on the side. Many of them, you don't even have to leave home. Everything. You can do everything from inside of your house. So I keep asking, what are we giving millions of dollars to the Sheba program to teach people stuff that they can learn online right now? You could give me, give me a McDonald's salary. And by the hour, was that $15 an hour? Right now, Hartford, pay me McDonald's salaries for about 4 hours worth a day. I'll do 4 hours a day. I'll even work weekends. And give me 4 hours and people can come here and I can show them how many gigs there are that they can do at home, online, and it'll cost you that much. These people are taking millions of dollars because, again, sadly, it's paying for them. Look, it's like if you found out that starting one of these organizations that the city will give you taxpayers money to, and you can know, I can actually get a salary from this? Yes, you can. Who wouldn't do it? Who wouldn't do it? They're all doing it. And again, they're so-called nonprofits. Except when it comes to their wallets. It just is. And again, I don't get it. How is it in this day and age where everything is accessible online, we are still paying people to teach them how to do stuff that they have at their fingertips? I used to say this a couple of years back. We're in the age of the smartphone, handled by idiots. It just is. Even Jason saying, you got me on that one. Yes, you would have never believed it until I showed you. And I learned that by just going online. Anybody can learn how to do this stuff. They can all find a way to make some money. All you have to do is just tell them that. And you'd be surprised, by the way. Don't get me wrong. A lot of those kids in these communities do know how to make that money, and they are going online, and they are doing it. So the fact that there are people in government falling for that nonsense every time you turn around, saying that we're holding, what's a nonsense? We're holding seminars on how you're teaching people how to write a resume. You could do that online right now. In fact, you know, who is it? Ali just said in the chat room. Was it Ali who said that? We're asking me. No, Richard. Richard A. just asked me in the chat room. He says, are you real, Reese, or AI? No, I'm real. But mentioning AI. Right now, you can actually put in ChatGPT, which you can go to for free, Copilot, all of these AI. Tell them, just write down your job experience. Just jot them down. I worked here, I worked here, I worked here. Put in the dates that you worked there. And then tell ChatGPT, can you form a resume for me? It'll do it for you. We don't need these nonprofits. You just don't. I know some people are saying, it's like, damn, Reese, are you going to put them out of business? Yes. Yes. You no longer have to run the risk of these folks stealing money. Somebody being tempted by all of that cash. Look, we've seen it too many times. Especially when there's no one being held to account. In this case, it's about where the money went, right? That's one part of this. Where did the money go? But what I keep asking when this stuff comes up is anybody accounting for where the money's being spent and what the results are? Is anyone holding these people to some sort of like metric? How well did you do with the last amount of tax dollars you did? Why do you need more? If I give you $5 million in 2024, you can't tell me you need $6 million in 2025. You can't. You need more money because there's more need? That means, what did you do the first time around? Did you squander it? Well, you got less results? It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. None of it makes sense. And I would suggest, let's just stop wasting the money. Let's just stop. People know how to go online. All of this stuff is for free. It's YouTube. It's everywhere. Available at your fingertips. That's it. When we come back, Brian Shackman will be on the program. We'll talk to him. More news and more views. We've also got Hollywood news. You don't want to miss this Hollywood news because it has to do with 80s television. And I don't know. I feel indifferent about this one. Let's get to some weather and traffic. Bob Larson has got weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in a BPS traffic center. Mark, you're going to love today's Hollywood news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are. I know you are.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, things overall doing pretty well. Southbound 91, just some slow traffic, 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line, slowing again by 22 in Cromwell, and another bump 19 to 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell into Hartford, seeing a little slow traffic northbound up by exit 33 Jennings Road. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street, out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slows from 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 384, I should say 84 eastbound, a little slow at the 384 interchange on the eastbound side of 84. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragodi Bridge in Middletown. Westbound 84, some slow traffic, 26 to 25A in Waterbury. Again, 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing by 18. Again, 25A in Waterbury down to the 691 interchange. If you're heading into Danbury, typical slowdowns, 84 eastbound, 3 to 5. Again, 8 in Danbury out to 11 in Newtown. Southbound 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly sunny the remainder of today with a gusty breeze and low humidity. A high temperature in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 54 degrees. And nice weather tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine, just a few puffy clouds. Again, low humidity, high 75. Turning out clear and cool tomorrow night, low 51. Then turning a little warmer on Thursday. The humidity will stay low. Partly sunny on Thursday with an afternoon high of 80. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC news update.
76 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Waterbury police have made an arrest in an hours-long standoff. They say Devin Ramsabag held them at bay for hours today. This following a domestic incident overnight. Shelter in place was ordered for a nearby school as a precaution. The suspect is now facing a host of charges. 2 people have died in a Monday afternoon shooting in New Haven. Officers were called to Dickerman Street. A 26-year-old male first reported deceased. Later in the day, a 32-year-old male victim was pronounced dead as well. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook's lawyer says she will sue President Trump and the administration to try and prevent him from firing her. Longtime D.C. attorney Abby Lowe saying today that Trump has no authority to remove Cook. They rolled out the red carpet literally for the kids at Hartford's Martin Luther King Middle School today. First day of classes for Hartford and other communities as they kick off the 2025-26 school year. The Israeli military says its strike on a Gaza hospital that killed 20 people, including 5 journalists, was aimed at what military officials believed was a Hamas surveillance camera, as well as people they identified as militants. Wall Street, the numbers finished in the black today. The Dow gained 135 points, and NASDAQ up 94. S&P picked up 26 points. Red Sox and Orioles pregame here after the 6 o'clock news. The Nationals face the Yanks at the stadium. The Mets host Philly. And in the Eastern League, Portland takes on the Yardgoats at Duncan. 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Most people have no invisible gap in their home's protection. This invisible threat is house stealing. Con artists pick a house, they transfer the deed of this house into their name by obtaining...
No, I haven't called them yet because I was waiting till, gotta go through traffic and weather.
Okay. Protect your home from this invisible gap. Check on your home's title right now at HomeTitleLock.com. Be sure to use promo code RADIO, and they will send you a complete title scan of your home's title. And your first 30 days of triple lock title protection is free. HomeTitleLock.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we got Brian Shackman coming up in a little bit after weather and traffic. We'll talk to Kim about the Newington arrest by ICE and what took place there, and sort of get we'll have a discussion on sort of different sides of this. Now, it's a really difficult place to be in this debate, for a lot of people, because they don't know which side is up or which end is up. But we're going to have that discussion. I kind of want to have discussion because he looks at it one way, I look at it another way. And that's the thing that I've always done on this program. I get a lot of this, you're a conservative, only taking conservative views. You never want to listen to anybody who has a different point. I'm like, that's not what I do. I totally want to hear from the other side or people who think differently from me. And Brian says it all the time. He considers me, hard right. I consider myself always right, but that's different. That's a different. If anybody ever calls you hard right, just like, no, always right. That's the way I look at it. But I want to have a discussion about it because everyone else is always about the hyperbolic. It's like, you don't like this, and you're just afraid of black. That's not the discussion. And somebody said yesterday, it was just like, oh, you're going soft on him because you're. Well, he's never casted an aspersion on anybody. When I talk to Don and Bob and Tim, it's always, you're a bigot, you're an Uncle Tom, you're a sellout, you're this. It's always casting aspersion. It's never an honest debate. It's like, don't agree with them, and all of a sudden somebody craps on you about it. All the name calling gets in. I'll scream and holler at those guys all day. Why? Because it's bottom feeding. It's got to be a discussion, and that's what it's going to be. So all that other, nonsense, I don't know, whatever. That's not the point. Brian is on hold. We're going to get to him soon. We got another check of weather and traffic. Also, Hollywood news, which I'm excited about it because for some odd reason, since I started doing this, they've been going back into places that I love, but also make me a little uncomfortable. And let me just put it this way. I didn't think that bringing the Karate Kid back from the dead as a Netflix series was going to be popular, but it was. So it looks like they're going back into the well again in that theme with a popular show. So we're going to see whether or not that actually pans out, I should say, in Hollywood news. Plus, I've got some other sound bites I need to get to, which is happening in Virginia in Loudoun County. Fairfax County, I apologize, with a scandal that's brewing there in Virginia. And also what Mike Smirkanis said about a study that says more young people are not having sex and more people are no longer drinking. And Smirkanis says that those are bad things. I'll play it so you to hear it. So stand by for that. All right, go nowhere. More news, more views. Brian Shackman on the other side of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got your weather report. And Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Heading toward Hartford right now, southbound side of 91. Just a little slow, 33 down to 32 a.m. Being again down by exit 28. More slow traffic, 19 to 17 in Meriden on 91 South. Northbound 91. That looks pretty good. No major problems. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue. Down into the tunnel, a little slow again, 58 up to 59 into 384 interchange. 291, 384, okay, 2 westbound slows, 1D up to the 84 west merge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. In Middletown, 84 eastbound slowing in Waterbury by 18. Again, some slow traffic, 25A in Waterbury down to the 691 interchange. Westbound, 84 sluggish, 26 to 25. Again, 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury slows 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound tight in Danbury, 8 out to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway sluggish, 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway is slowing, approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 south delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mix of clouds inside the rest of this afternoon. The nice breeze. Low humidity, high is 78. Partly cloudy. Cool weather tonight, overnight low 54. Tomorrow looks nice, mostly sunny again. Low humidity, high 75. A little warmer on Thursday, not too humid, partly sunny. Thursday's high up to around 80 degrees. Could be a couple of showers in the area on Friday. Cooler again, well, the high is 74. Right now it is 75 in South Glastonbury, 77 degrees in New Britain, and 76 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Suicide is something that affects all of us, and we can all play a part in saving lives. Make a difference in your community by walking out of the darkness with us on Saturday, September 27th at Bushnell Park in Hartford. Help spread awareness and understanding. Send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/CT Capital Area, and then we'll see you in Bushnell Park September 27th. WTIC News Talk 1080 is proud partner of the American Federation for Suicide Prevention Out of the Darkness Walk.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
You're listening to
1 minute.
And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Yeah, who cares? We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, WTIC, News Talk 1080. My label mate, as we used to call him in the rap game, Brian Shackman, is on the phone. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Reese. How are you, bud?
I'm okay. Now, everybody's expecting a war. Oh, it's going to be a war. Relax. So this conversation that you had, somebody called me on the show and said that you were talking about the Newington Seven, as I've called them, who were arrested in the Newington Optimo car wash. And you had expressed some concerns about it. In fact, the way I listened to it, it sounded like you had been holding back for a while on talking about the immigration issue as it pertains to the Trump administration. Do I get that right?
Yeah, I mean, the Newington wasn't even like my key springboard. I mean, I had these conversations both at home and at work for months. Yes, that's correct. Yep.
And you have a concern about what took place in Newington and in other cases because there have been some events where some people who were American citizens were caught up. You were talking about, in fact, in the piece that everyone's talking about, is this the Afghani man who was detained. He was doing everything right, and he was caught up as well. Yeah. But your concern about the Newington case was that here's ICE rolling up in the middle of the day, grabbing 7 people and not knowing where they were. But I needed to ask you this on that front.
Yeah.
You said that you were concerned about it. Maybe that's not the word you used. What was the exact word you used? That it seemed troubling or concerning that they were picked up, and it was just. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, I want you to finish your question. I want to interrupt. What happened in Newington happens every day all over the country.
Right.
I mean, there's 1,500 people are getting apprehended every day, the word I used was uncomfortable.
Yeah, there you go.
It made me uncomfortable. Yeah.
What is it that's?
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what exactly is it that's making you uncomfortable? Because when you said uncomfortable, you then went on to say that you don't want to look back 20 years, 30 years, and find out what we were doing here at this time, and not speaking up about it turned out to be something very awful. Can you expand on that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's obvious. There's no way. The only thing that is that a lot of these people have broken the law is that they came into the country illegally, whether they're seeking asylum or not. And that basically means that every single person who, I mean, it's not just the hundreds of thousands or a couple of million in the Biden administration. You go back decades.
Mm-hmm.
If you call all those people criminals, they have not had due process. They have not been convicted of anything. And my point is that every day there are people who aren't violent criminals or convicted criminals who are apprehended in a way that doesn't give them due process. And I mean, the example of the Afghan interpreters one, there's dozens and dozens of them. The one I use a lot is this young woman who was a grad student at Tufts University. She got cuffed by a bunch of plainclothes masked ICE agents because she wrote an op-ed in the Tufts newspaper that was anti-Israel or whatever. Now, I'm Jewish. I'm pretty pro-Israel, but I'm a free speech guy, and I don't think somebody should be, dragged into a car and taken out of state because they wrote a op-ed in a college paper. So I don't know, and I was very clear. I mean, if you want me to go through my whole
No. I don't need you to trust me. I don't need you to go through the whole thing.
Because I don't know these guys. We don't know. You don't know, and I didn't get a chance to listen to much because I've been dealing with some stuff with my son's getting ready for school and stuff. But people have been texting me about this, so I only know contextually what some of the stuff that was said. But for me, when you don't know, there's a safe assumption that a huge percentage of these people are not violent or convicted criminals, and so.
And you believe? Let me cut you off on that part.
And taken away in the middle of the day by people who are, and again, people can say, well, they're masked because they don't want to get doxxed and all this stuff, and we can talk about that another day. By these people, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not saying you can support it if you want. I don't give a crap what you do, but if we find out that these people shouldn't have been treated this way, and we just sat by and didn't say anything about it, I don't want to be that person. So that's why I spoke out about it.
No, and I get it. Like, listen, this is the point of view that you have, a lot of people have, and the people who are outraged about it seem to be showing this outrage like you weren't allowed that opinion. There was only one thought process on this. And I can disagree with you. What I wanted to do was have a moment where, because you don't take phone calls on your show, I do, and I don't want that. I needed my point of view, your point of view, for both of us to have a conversation about each other's point of view and sort of debate that out in the little time that we do. So you said that there was these people, like you are not, there was a lot of what you said that seemed very blanket, a blanket approach to the whole thing, when we know that many of these incidences have to do with the illegal entry into our country. So I want to talk about something you just said earlier. You said if their only crime was they came into the country illegally and they've been, crime-free the time that they've been here. What do you say to the fact that many of the people who are being picked up are people who did not show up at their court hearings or asylum hearings that they were scheduled to return to? Because there was a large number of those people who have been caught up. By the way, no one's talking about it, but that's verifiably true, that have been caught up and picked up because they did not return to their scheduled hearing to find out if they were allowed to get asylum. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen, first of all, I haven't seen the documentation that says that's the case, but I would say even when I spoke about this the other day, was it yesterday? I can't remember what day it was. I said if people if people are criminals, convicted criminals or violent criminals, they should be gone. And if people don't follow the process, they should be considered for deportation as well. That's not even the issue. I mean, that's not all these people.
No. However, you don't know. But Brian, you do not know that that's Brian. You don't know that that's all these people.
Because the system was failing, they still get due process. And I don't really want to argue about all this stuff. For me, the thing that's most important is that just seeing that on the streets is it just doesn't feel like the American way we do things. And whether it's whatever the facts are, we don't know the facts, Reese. Just like we don't know who these people were. Maybe they were criminals. I don't know what they were. They could be, their apprehension might have been valid, but until they tell us or they have transparency, you don't know that. So you can assume one way or you can assume the other way.
If you
I'm fine. Go ahead.
If you had an approach to this, what would it be?
Well, I mean, listen, for me, I think that there's just this, and I do want to address the Nazi thing in a second, but I just feel like there's this, this is on multiple levels. There's a macro philosophical level where I think that, a lot that's going on is like the last gasp of what could soon be, the minority majority could happen in this country, and that brings a lot of fear in a lot of people. But ultimately, I think there's a sense initially that all the people that were let in during the Biden administration, whatever that number was, say it was 5 million or 6 million or 2 million, we want to get that number out. And that's Stephen Miller wants 3,000 a day, and those are arbitrary numbers, and they're massive numbers that go far beyond the scope of what initially I thought was a really good plan. Is part of the closing the border is to instill fear. You don't want people to come. If people are scared of coming here, they're not going to come here. And
I think that's been established, hasn't it?
Yeah. But for me, if you would say what would my solution be? Like I don't have all the answers. I only know what I see, read, and think, and believe in my heart. And I think that if you're a criminal or you were convicted of something and you're a violent crime, you're a member of a gang, you're gone. I would like everyone else to have due process, and if they can't do the things that they need to do to get asylum or be here on the record, then they should go. But they deserve due process. And if somebody wrote an op-ed in the newspaper, she doesn't deserve to get cuffed and stuffed. That's not what I don't.
Yeah,
think
I can deal. But Brian, I could deal with that woman, or even Khalil Mahmoud, whatever his name is. I can deal with him outside of the vacuum of both of those individuals don't get to be all the illegals who are being picked up and removed by ICE. Because I know that there's been this approach that says because I think they're good, they all get to be good, and any picking up of those individuals by ICE gets to be somehow problematic, because I think that it's wrong to paint anybody with a broad brush, be it good or bad. So
I'm not saying that none of them deserve to be apprehended.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Okay. No, I know you're not. You made that very clear in your 8-9 minutes. You did.
Yeah.
So
for me, go ahead.
Let's go to the Nazi thing, because we only have a little bit of time. I want to get to the Nazi thing. So you made it clear in the beginning that the comparisons to Nazi Germany should not be allowed. No, that's the non-starter. Get that out of your mind. But then you talked about this book that you were reading, and then talked about authoritarianism, and then lastly you mentioned people not saying anything about what's going on, and still talking about the Nazi Germany where people didn't say anything when something bad was going. Can you parse the two and tell me how you weren't saying that it's equating it to Nazi Germany, but still kind of going there? Because that's what it did. It kind of went there.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's easier to explain. By the way, I think you acknowledge this. I mean, this is something I said extemporaneously. I didn't have some, flow chart, notebook in front of me. I was moved by something, and I want to share it. That's what my show is.
Right.
I share when it's important enough to be. The Nazi things, I basically said, like you just said, the comparison to Nazi Germany is inappropriate because there's not some systemic effort by the government to rid certain people from the earth. Right? That's not happening. But that doesn't mean that what is happening here is right or okay. Just because it's not that doesn't mean it's right or okay. There are gradations of problems you can have with this. And then the second component of it is when I was really referring to civilians, not military or state-run philosophies of Aryan nation. I was talking about the regular, everyday Germans who may not have been active members of the party. They may not have been in the military, and they probably knew, many of them did, that something horrible was happening, and they did or said nothing. Now, in Germany, it's pretty obvious. They were threatened with a lot.
Sure.
Whether it was being taken to a camp themselves, or their relatives getting taken away, or them actually getting killed. So there was a real fear of speaking up. Now, what happened with you, your listeners in the show, is kind of proves my point, is that I was just saying, as a citizen, I don't want history to look back on this, however it looks back on it, and not have said something that this makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
So I wasn't making some sort of state comparison. I was making a civilian comparison to the people in everyday Germany.
But let me address that.
It's not a Nazi thing. But let me finish this one
last
point, because I think it's really important that this is just me, and I'm not trying to convince anybody to change anybody's mind. But my problem with people right now, and this is why I run the show the way I do, is that how come I can't be critical of one thing, and all of a sudden it makes me some jackass liberal or bleeding heart? You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you.
Because that's not true. And so people with the whole Trump era, it's either you're all in or you're the problem. And that's not the way it should be. There's tons of stuff, not tons, there's several things that Trump has done that I think are completely constructive, and I'm happy to talk about that. But this particular thing, I don't think is the way we want to do things in this country. Even that we could be tougher, and the thing with the border has worked. But this thing, I wanted people to know that I wasn't comfortable.
Okay. Now, but I will say this before I let you go. That part that you just said about you didn't want to be the person who didn't speak up, or you were talking about Germany. Now, by the way, when I talk about this personally, my family, like I have a personal relationship with a woman whose husband was a Nazi soldier, and he had to join in order for them to survive and to eat. So I know this story intimately about those people, as you talk about. But this is not something that people aren't openly talking about. There are rallies that no one has ever been fearful of retribution in the Trump era as to those who are opposed to it. So, and there was something you said about that said that, people are fearful of retribution. That's never been the case for anybody. Everyone's been openly opposed to what Donald Trump's doing in this case. Isn't that fair to say?
Yeah, I think a lot of people that have opposed the president in places more important than me have lost their jobs.
You think Stephen Colbert lost his job because of his position?
Well, look at what he did. Listen, if Lisa Cook lied on her mortgage application, I don't know, but look what he's trying to do to Powell. These are the things I don't want to get into, but I obviously the fear of open expression is nothing like Germany. I'm not saying it is.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I'm not totally convinced that it's a free and easy culture when people are very passionate about their president, and as is their right to be. But if I don't agree with one thing, all of a sudden they're broad brushing me when they don't know my attitude about taxation and budget and the military. They don't know where my mind is. So I think that's an unfair way to treat
I will admit, look,
me.
it is true. You're 100% right that there is a bar that is raised if you don't agree with, the status quo on this. But like I said, I've told everybody yesterday, of course he's free to his own opinion. You may not agree with it, but you should be listening to it on a level that says, okay, how does it embolden me to sort of certify my point of view? Brian, thank you for taking the time. I know you're a busy day, and thank you for taking a little bit of time you could.
And Reese, sorry if I talk too much. I'm happy to talk about it more on another day.
You got it. I'd love to have you back, man. Are you kidding me? Got to have you back. Thank you, man. Brian Shackman. Let's get to another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather. Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, 84 eastbound, you're looking at delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel east of the river, slowing a little bit between 58 and 59 into 384. Interchange westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. And again, 27 down to 28. You'll slow again in Meriden approaching exit 19 Preston Avenue. Northbound 91 looking good. Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbounds in good shape. Just a little slow. 1D up to the 84 West merge. Look out for an accident. 9 southbound in Middletown down by exit 24. Said to be in the left lane. Delays are approaching 27 in Cromwell. Behind that, northbound 9, you got some delays now approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound delays 17 to 18. Again, some slow traffic getting by exit 26 down to the 691 interchange in Cheshire. Westbound 84 slows 23 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly sunny the remainder of today with a gusty breeze and low humidity. A high temperature in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 54 degrees. And nice weather tomorrow. Good deal of sunshine, just a few puffy clouds. Again, low humidity, high 75. Turning out clear and cool tomorrow night, low of 51. Then turning a little warmer on Thursday. The humidity will stay low. Partly sunny on Thursday with an afternoon high of 80. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Waterbury police say the man who barricaded himself in a residence after a domestic incident has been taken into custody. The drama unfolded around 1 this morning when a female told police she and her ex-boyfriend, Devin Ramsabag, got into a verbal dispute that later saw him strike her car several times. Now, that's when police say he locked himself in the home on Buckland Drive. Was taken into custody this afternoon without incident. Suspect, a convicted felon, police say, who faces a laundry list of charges, including reckless driving and criminal mischief. They also say they recovered an AR-15 and ammunition. A shelter in place at Bucks Hill School has since been lifted. There's now a fourth Democrat looking to seek the nod to replace longtime incumbent John Larson in Connecticut's 1st District. West Hartford State Representative Jillian Gilchrist made the announcement today. She served in the state legislature the last 7 years.
I'm a social worker, which means I love listening to people, learning from their experiences, and then translating that into effective public policy to improve people's lives. I believe the government should support people and solve problems. And I think we have an opportunity to get there if we elect people to Congress who are willing to work for it. I'm ready to work.
Democratic challengers include Luke Bronin, the former Hartford mayor, Jack Perry on the Southington Town Council, and Ruth Fortune. Dr. Amy Fogelstrom Chai is running on the Republican ticket thus far. Larson has held that seat since 1999. President Trump held an hours-long cabinet meeting and touched on a number of topics today, including firing of a Federal Reserve governor and urban crime.
The president did not back away from his plan to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud. Cook says she will not resign. Her attorney adding in a statement, the attempt to fire Cook lacks any factual or legal basis, and we will be filing a lawsuit challenging this illegal action.
She seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, especially that infraction, because she's in charge of, if you think about it, mortgages, and we need people that are 100% above board.
Correspondent Erica Hill on that report. Officials in Farmington gathered today to take the wraps off a housing development in town. 80 South Road, located near Yukon Health, consists of 65 units in total. State Housing Commissioner Sela Mascara Bruno.
As you can see, 2 buildings in which the Department of Housing invested $5.5 million is especially important because 52 of these units will be designated as affordable housing, and 15 of those are supportive housing.
Says the department is continuing to work toward expanding affordable housing to all, including seniors and working families. Westport police have issued a series of reminders about sharing the roads with school buses as the new year kicks off. Police Lieutenant Anthony Prezioso says drivers and pedestrians need to step up their awareness.
That's awareness not just on the part of, motorists out there, but also students and parents who are, now occupying our streets once again, waiting for buses. I think for us, it's sort of kind of readjusting from the summer driving habits that we all get into, where we're not really used to sharing the road with school buses.
Gas prices up nationally by 7 cents a gallon on average. That includes a nearly $0.25 increase in the Great Lakes region.
Patrick DeHaan of the gas price tracking site GasBuddy blames that spike on an isolated incident.
Major refinery in the region suffered unexpected downtime over the last week due to severe weather.
DeHaan says the national average will likely slip to $3.15 a gallon on Labor Day, the lowest price for the holiday in 5 years. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Dow up 135 points today. NASDAQ gained 96. S&P was up 26 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Hypnosis Seminar, February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings.
That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5 Smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, let's get to it. I'm so excited for this. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. Fashion, flair. It's Hollywood News. Roland really likes this music. I love playing it for you, Roland. I didn't expect you to like it as much as you do.
Gets me excited.
It does, right? It's great. All right. So, all of you 80s fans out there, you are going to love this news. But I don't know whether or not you're going to actually go. Like, you might go just to find out. You may even watch it on video. So, a couple of years back, they actually did a movie starring, is it Sean Astin? I can't remember the guy's name. But he was in that movie, The Rundown with The Rock. And he was also Stifler in all of the American Pie movies. Him and Johnny Knoxville did the movie version of The Dukes of Hazzard. And it was all right. I mean, Jessica Simpson plays Daisy Duke. It was all right. It was, it was a popcorn film, and people enjoyed it, and they'll watch it from time to time on cable. But you might remember that The Dukes of Hazzard's direct rival over on NBC was none other than Knight Rider. Yes, Knight Rider. David Hasselhoff, Michael Knight, the Knight Industries 2000. I guess it's going to probably be 3000 this time. It doesn't even make sense for the 2000. Yes, the folks that brought you Cobra Kai, which is the spinoff of The Karate Kid, and actually made it a success in the 21st century on Netflix, that team has gotten together to rework Knight Rider as a film. And
Sean William Scott.
Say again, Sean William Scott. Thank you, Sean William Scott. So, Knight Rider is going to be made into a feature film. Now, I know that they will probably bring David Hasselhoff's old bones out for the movie, but it's worth at least, I thought it's at least somewhat interesting. The Knight Rider has never been a film. It's never been thought of. Apparently, this has been in development for a long time, but it looks like they're going to try it out now. If they make Knight Industries 2000 a Tesla, I will be disappointed. So I'm interested in that. Let's get to weather and traffic with Bob Larson and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. I knew it. It was coming.
Wait, now who's going to star in the movie?
No,
new movie?
They don't have a star yet.
Okay.
But it is in development that they're going to bring it in as a feature film. And they've tried this before, like a 2-hour Knight Rider with David Hasselhoff. They brought it back as another series in the early 2000s, I think. So this will be the first feature film. And I just can't imagine what the car will be. Do you think they should bring back the Trans Am? Is that what it was?
Why not?
Yeah, I think they should bring it back.
My buddy had a Trans Am. Woo.
But I'll tell you the part that sucks, that we don't have William Daniels back in it. You know, he's since passed. William Daniels was the voice of Kit, and that was, sorry, he was the main character of that show for me.
That was before, that was before all the electronic stuff in your car that talks to you now.
You know what? They could get an AI version of him.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They totally could.
One of his estate would sign off on that.
Yeah, they probably
That'd be
would.
interesting. Why wouldn't they? It's cash money. Bring it
Exactly.
in. Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, South Loop 91 delays 33 down to...
Yeah, still one of the dopest music intros for a show.
Absolutely. When
in
Busta
Meriden,
Rhymes
northbound
did it
91
as a
moving
song.
Oh, my God.
That
was bananas.
On the westbound side of 84, slowing, approaching the Berkeley Bridge out to 45 eastbound.
Now I got to go listen to that.
Yeah, right.
The tunnel, a little tight again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. 2 westbound, some slow traffic, 1D up to the 84 west merge in East Hartford. 9 southbound in right on the Cromwell Middletown line. Looks like we have an accident down there, exit 24 in Middletown. Left lane is shut down there. Delays are approaching 27 in Cromwell behind that. Heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound slowing by 18. Again, some sluggish traffic, 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 is tied up 25A. Up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you're traveling southbound in the Parkway, delays 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you're slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy tonight. It'll be cool overnight, dropping to a low of 54 degrees, and pleasant weather tomorrow. Mostly sunny, a few puffy clouds. Again, low humidity. The high is 75. Clear, cool weather tomorrow night, low 51. Still at least partly sunny on Thursday. A little warmer Thursday afternoon, high 80. Looking into Friday, mostly cloudy. Could be a couple of showers in the area. Maybe a thunderstorm high Friday. 74. Right now it is 76 in East Hartford. It's 74 degrees in Manchester. 77 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Hi, this is Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends. Have you checked out my radio show, The Brian Kilmeade Show? Listen weekdays at 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. We're talking about the issues that matter most to you. We're giving you the breaking news, talking to the newsmakers you want to hear from. Where does President Trump take the country? Where do the Democrats go from here? We are covering all this in great depth and so much more. The Brian Kilmeade Show, weekdays, 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. Listen to your radio, smart speaker, or on the free Odyssey app.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, and we're back. I just realized I didn't do that. We are back. More news, more views than you could shake a stick at. I have this audio that is actually blowing my mind. A CBS reporter, she's got to be, she's obviously a kid. Olivia Rinaldi, who was apparently, she was waiting on a hit on CBS News, and she finds out that Taylor Swift is engaged. Her mouth.
Taylor Swift is engaged. Taylor Swift is engaged. Taylor Swift is engaged. This, come back to me. She just posted it. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You're a grown woman. You're an adult. Calm down. Taylor Swift is engaged. I don't even know what to make of it. I saw it. I was just like, are they serious? I guess maybe because I'm a guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm a guy. That's always been a thing growing up. The girls are crazy about one of their favorite girls getting married. I guess that's a big deal. I don't want to poo-poo it. Sorry, ladies. Don't get me wrong. You're probably going to tell me I wouldn't understand. I get it. I don't. All right, let's go to the phones. Okay, now there's got to be some ground rules. No hating. No hating. All right? Admit that there is. You can question my credibility. You can come after me all you want. But there's going to be no hating. You can talk about the interview, talk about the conversation between Brian and I, but no hating. Don't embarrass me. You're my listeners, okay? Have a discussion, okay? Don't embarrass me, all right? I got the big wigs watching me. I'm kidding. But don't embarrass me, all right? Don't turn this into nonsense. Let's go to Mike in Newington. What's going on, sir?
Reese, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, big guy. What's up?
Good. I've been waiting on the line, let's see, 2 hours and 30
I'm
minutes.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, first of all, you just when you said who's on the line, what'd you say?
I said Mike is in Newington?
Right, so why am I calling?
You are calling about the Newington 7.
Okay, so that is 0.8 miles from my house.
Okay. Wow.
It's actually on my street down the road.
Okay.
So the reason why I wanted to talk to you, I don't know if anyone has given you the makeup of this particular place already.
I understand that it is run by Middle Eastern folks, whether or not from Afghanistan or some Middle Eastern country, but a group, the largest group of individuals who actually work there at the car wash are either Mexican or Guatemalan.
Correct. Now, this place is in a gas station that was, up until about a year ago, a Shell gas station, got bought up by Mobil.
Okay.
It's one of these cross-corner gas stations. Now there's a brand new gas station across the corner, too.
Okay.
And there's a pizza place on the opposite corner. The reason I'm telling you this, though, is on a Saturday or Sunday morning, I might get in my car and go down to that corner because across the street is a place that used to be called the Whole Donut years ago. Now it's called King Donut. And they got pretty good bagels. So I'll go pick up a bagel on a Saturday morning, bring it home, and, have with my coffee. God, Reese, if you go down there on a Saturday or Sunday, or any day of the week, but I'm talking particularly Saturday or Sunday, they almost deserved what happened there because you would think that you were in Tijuana.
Wow.
Because they have music, Latino music blaring, and 8 people outside, and this is in a neighborhood. This isn't like you're in Hartford. In a city. This is a suburban neighborhood in Newington, and the way they were set up over there, like 8 people, someone sitting on there. I watched one day. I wanted to call the Board of Health in Newington. I watched them eating some takeout shrimp from somewhere. I saw clearly what they were doing, and they were throwing it all on the ground when they were done. I'm like, this place is going to have rats next week. What's going on here? And
wow.
Someone said to me a day or two ago, well, how did this happen over there? Doesn't the owner of this place know who they hired? I said, no, I'll bet you they contracted out the portion of it's a gas station, with a little convenience store, and then they have a bay where they run the cars through. I said, somebody contracted that out, one guy, and then all these guys get hired by him. So all these people didn't get hired necessarily by the proprietor of the station, but by the guy who they contracted out to for the car washing portion of it.
Well, Mark actually, he pretty much confirms what you said. He says he goes there a lot. He actually loves the work that they do. They do a really, really good detailed job on his car, makes his car look factory new. That's how good the work is, inside and out. He says it's like $300 work that they do for, $60. He said when he gets the bill at the end, he actually tips them more than the actual bill. That's how good the work is. But he does say that in that small little area, they blast some piano music. It is kind of, I don't want to say a party scene, but it's pretty loud in that resident. Do you think, let me ask you this, Mike, since you live in the area, and of course this is speculation, but do you think maybe there had been some noise complaints because you said it's a suburban area. Do you think there may have been some noise complaints?
Reese, listen, right on just next door, I'm talking about 50 feet away, there's a house. And then there's a whole row of houses. I'll guarantee you there has to be complaints. I'd be surprised as hell if there wasn't. There's no way that there wasn't.
No, listen. This is the part. See, again, there is always nuance to this story. And again, I refuse. I err on the side of not having the information. When I don't have the information, I just go, let's wait until, because there is other parts of this that are sort of being viewed by saying They think that it was just a whole bunch of cars rolling up. Get out, get on the ground. Come on. You know, it was this sort of wild, chaotic scene where a bunch of people are running around and it's chaos. But it appears that it ran very orderly. The people who have been taken have gone, and there were others who also were brown, who are also from Mexico, which we know for certain because Mark's been there today. There were other people from other foreign countries who were not taken. So it was very methodic in the approach.
Exactly.
So there.
Reese, let me make one other point before you let me go. Is that I have a good friend lives right down the road from me. We chat here and there. He does not like to engage at all in politics. He won't listen to radio stuff. He gets annoyed when I bring it up. But he made a very good point to me, or he made the point that you know well of. You brought it up earlier. And my friend who's sitting here with me right now, he stopped by after he got out of work. We're having a little cocktail and talking.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing too, what you brought up earlier, when people say, well, you know, they're working and paying taxes. Whoa, stop. Stop right there. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Let me address that too. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the call. Let me address that because I actually looked this up. So Reuters has a fact check, right? And this is what it says in the headline. Let me read this. It's from February 26th of 2025. And it's Reuters, okay? So let's take it for what it is. It's Reuters. And in February of this year, a month after Donald Trump's inauguration, they write this article, fact check, undocumented immigrants can and do pay taxes. Yes, if one of them, two of them, three of them paid actual taxes, I wouldn't argue with you. The headline would ring true. But the article goes on to talk about ITIN numbers that are given by the Internal Revenue Service, right? That are given by the IRS. These people are given, so it says fact check. Some undocumented workers may say that they are paying taxes and should be given a chance to say that, but they don't pay taxes. They're not allowed to work here in the U.S. Now, when Reuters writes this article about the ITIN numbers, because they can't get Social Security numbers, they are right. Some illegals do have ITIN numbers, but I looked deeper, and it's the one thing that doesn't make sense, is that when you ask Social Security or the IRS who has ITIN numbers, in other words, to parse them, illegals, visa holders, those individuals, it turns out the IRS doesn't have those numbers. There's no way to know who does and who doesn't. They don't. They don't even give those numbers. So I went a step further, and I asked how many visa holders have ITIN numbers. In fact, I'm going ahead of myself. Let's stop. How many ITIN numbers are given out this year? In fact, how many have them today, as we stand today? The number sits at about 5.6 million. They can't tell you who has them, but 5.6 million of them do. So then I looked up how many visa holders have ITIN numbers. They do have that one. It turns out, and I have the information here, 1.224 million. Now, how did I come up with that number? That number is just 47% of all visa holders. 40% of all visa numbers who are working. The other ones are students. That's a smaller percentage. And another one, and by the way, out of that number is 3.6 million visa holders. 3.6 million. That's how we get to the 1.224 million who have ITINs. So the number of 5.6 of people who have ITINs, that's now chopped, right? It's a third, almost a third, cut down. How many illegals have come into the country? 10 million? 20 million? Who knows? Even if it's 12 million, there are only 5.6 million with ITINs. So yes, are there some undocumented, as they call them, or illegals who have ITIN numbers who are paying taxes? Yes. without a doubt. But the large majority do not because they are undocumented. You have to ask yourself a question. Why are they giving out IDs in New Haven? Why are they giving out the New Haven IDs? Why isn't anybody working to get them Social Security numbers or birth certificates in the United States? New Haven just decided, no, we're just going to give them, we're going to give them IDs to the city. So this Reuters story says, and this is try this on, undocumented immigrants paid $97 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022, according to a July 2024 report by the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy, which used data on taxpayers with ITIN estimated tax revenue. But again, when you ask them how many undocumented immigrants have ITIN numbers, they don't know. The number has never been given because they don't have it. So the number could be 5% of people who have ITINs, but you can't say that it is a fact check that they do, because when you ask the IRS how many of them are undocumented or illegals for that matter, they don't have the data. So you're kind of spinning it, if you get my meaning. So again, it is just worth. I don't know what am I supposed to say? I can't. IDs so the city can know who they are, Donald writes. In New Haven, Donald, the mayor of New Haven contradicts exactly what you just said. Did you miss my whole diatribe at the beginning of the show? I know you listened to the whole show. The IDs are so they can know who they are. We asked Justin Elliker who they are. He said he didn't know. Because we don't ask. When we asked, can people know who their neighbors are? He said, you should ask them because we don't know and we don't ask. What? Like, what am I doing here? It's a mess. I'm just going to break. We'll be back. More news, more views after weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue to the Bulkley. East of the river, losing some speed out by the 384 interchange on the East Hartford Manchester line. Westbound 84 slows, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91, some slow traffic, 33 to 32, again 27 to 28. And if you are running south of downtown, that's a little slow by 23 in Rocky Hill, and again, 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91, real good ride, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay. 2 westbound slows, 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 2 eastbound slowing off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. If you're traveling 9 northbound in Middletown, an accident up by exit 21, and that has the left lane blocked. You got delays behind that. 9 southbound is slowing, approaching 27 down to the Cromwell Middletown line from an earlier accident that is now gone. Northbound Route 9, some slow traffic from 32 in Berlin up to 36 in New Britain. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing by 18. Some sluggish traffic again in Cheshire, 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 is tight up 23 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 8 in Danbury out to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway slowing 61 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Breezy and pleasant the rest of this afternoon. Sun and clouds along with low humidity. High 78. Partly cloudy tonight and cool. Low 54. Tomorrow looks nice. A good deal of sunshine. High 75 and clear. Cool weather tomorrow night. Low 51. Thursday partly sunny and becoming a little warmer but not too humid. High 80. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a couple of showers in the area. Perhaps a thunderstorm. High 74. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather
There's
Center.
a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, 76 degrees, sunny skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva. Waterford police are reporting the discovery of a body in town today. They say around 1, the find was made off the town's coastline in Long Island Sound. Police, the New London State's Attorney, and the medical examiner are investigating. New Haven police say 2 people have now died in that shooting on Dickerman Street Monday. The 26-year-old man first reported dead. A second victim, 32 years of age, died later. Hartford and several other cities and towns across our state saw students return to the classroom today, this first day of the 2025-26 school year. The group calling All Brothers was out at MLK Middle to welcome the kids back on their first day today. Hours-long standoff in Waterbury came to a peaceful end with the arrest of a suspect. Police say it started with a domestic incident overnight involving Devin Ramsmagad. Police also say they seized an AR-15 and ammunition. West Hartford Democratic State Representative Jillian Gilchrist has announced that she will seek the Democratic nomination for Congress in the 1st District, the seat currently held by John Larson. Federal judge has dismissed the Trump administration's lawsuit against Maryland's entire federal bench in a ruling that accuses the White House of trying to smear judges who rule against it. And Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. The singer and football player made the announcement on Instagram today. They've been going together for a couple of years now. Kelce, of course, getting ready to start the season as his Chiefs face the LA Chargers in Brazil a week from Friday. Swift has a new album out, The Life of a Showgirl. That is actually scheduled to drop in October. Markets were mixed for a while, but finished the day in positive territory. The Dow gaining 135 points. NASDAQ was up 94, S&P up 26. Red Sox and Orioles with the pregame right after the 6 o'clock news. Yanks at the stadium face the Nationals. The Mets are home, too. They take on Philly. And in the Eastern League, Portland is at Duncan Park to take on the Yard Goats, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
You're listening to Leaf. And the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness.
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
As for all you late arrivers, it's time for What Had Happened Was, right here on WTIC. So what had happened was, we were getting a phone call about the Brian Shackman was talking about the situation that was going on in Newington. A lot of people were talking about it, and it became it was everywhere on X. Everybody had something about it, and I think they were more or less responding to the mayor of Newington, who's still not come out of hiding. I'm not sure exactly what that's about. If I had a beef with anybody, it was with their statement that didn't seem to make sense to me. And you know what? I want to rehash it. If I could. Excuse me. Anyway, I want to rehash it. Again, saying that you're deeply concerned should come with an understanding of what's going on, which, again, it seems like that was a problem here. Since learning of the incident, we have requested immediate information from the Hartford ICE office where inquiries have been directed. We are actively working to determine who was targeted, whether their families have been notified, where they have been held, or if or how they have been charged. We are deeply concerned about this incident, and my beef was, it sounds like you know nothing, but you're deeply concerned about not knowing anything. And again, I can't make heads or tails of that. I would be deeply concerned if I found out that people were tased. I would be deeply concerned if the ICE officers had pulled out guns. I would be deeply concerned if there were people who were being dragged across the floor or being manhandled in some, uppercuts and all that. I would be deeply concerned about those things. But there was no such talk of that. And again, I'm just trying to figure out. So, Brian Shackman joined the show to talk about his concern about it, and he said he thought it was deeply troubling. And again, he's looking at this from a place where he's concerned, what are we doing? And he's trying to understand it. He gathers the news just like I do. The way that he is receiving the news is being received by him in a way that's different from me. And he argued on the show. It's like, look, because I have a difference of opinion, all of a sudden I got to be this, that, and a third. And again, that's not fair. I can disagree with Brian on anything in the world. He's not supposed to have an opinion here on WTIC that agrees with everybody here. It's not his job. He didn't come in here to do everybody else's bidding. That part I don't like. And my conversation was talking about the people making a suggestion that he was equating it or associating it with Nazi Germany, which he got an opportunity to clear up. He was not. But he was just saying, just because people want this to happen doesn't mean it's being done in the right way, in his opinion. Which is allowed to have. Again, a lot of people got to understand that. You don't have to agree with it. But you know what? I'll get in that in a minute. Just give me a minute. Let me get to weather and traffic. I'm trying to explain something I need more time to. But we got a clock, and I got to follow it. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for some delays coming into Hartford from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. Slowing again as you move down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weather Shield line. Another bump as you move between 24 and 23 in Rocky Hill. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84, it's heavy approaching the Bulky Bridge in East Hartford. Out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the downtown tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. If you're traveling on the northbound side of Route 3, some slow traffic from the Putnam Bridge up to exit 13B and C in Glastonbury. 9 southbound, still seeing heavy traffic now as you move from 27 in Cromwell down to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound, we have an accident now up by exit 21 in Middletown. Left lane block there. The lanes are back to exit 19 behind that. Heading into Waterbury, 84 eastbound slowing by 18, a little slow again moving by exit 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 Waterbury slows 25A up to the Mixmaster. If you're heading in toward New Haven, southbound Parkway slowing 61 into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 South New Haven tight from 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. Before our children get to school, they're on the roads, on sidewalks, in crosswalks, riding bikes, and waiting for buses. So put away the distractions and slow down. School's in. Drive smart. A message from the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association and Connecticut DOT.
WTIC weather.
Today, high 75. Clear, cool weather tomorrow, low 51. Turning a little warmer on Thursday. The humidity will stay low. Partly sunny Thursday, high reaching 80. Could be a couple of showers in the area on Friday. Cooler again with a high of 74. Right now it is 76 in Newington, 74 degrees in Coventry, and 77 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The Red Sox are in Baltimore, playing for some conference wins as the postseason draws closer. Don't miss 1 minute of the action. It's the Red Sox and Orioles. We'll join the pregame tonight at 6:05 on your home for the Boston Red Sox. WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S10406241, S3 308699, SM 3004646, E1 185643.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of...
1 minute.
We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me.
How's your flight back, bro?
Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan.
Much
but if
easier
you're not
than
using
going.
all that data used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable.
Yeah, the wife's been looking at a bunch of houses now over in like the Amarillo area.
Oh, wow.
Our plan started just $20.
I mean, if it wasn't for, in
the business.
The thing that stinks is it's not even like major things that are holding us back for the move. It's just like a lot of little things. And then if it wasn't for a lot of those, we totally would move.
Weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th.
You just get so much more value down there.
Across the country.
true.
For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes.
Here we go.
Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend. Oh, my Bob.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I got to tell you, from the bottom of my heart, I hate math. I really do. I can't stand it. Drives me up the wall. Reese on the Radio, we're about to get up out of here. Let's go to the phone calls. Mark in West Hartford, who is a patron of the car wash in question in Newington. What do you got for me, buddy?
So before we get to that, and I'm not hating on Brian, people know that me and him, we communicate.
Yeah, you're friends.
I think he represents a large swath of, whether you call them moderates or liberals, or people who are sympathetic to this plight. But he said something that stood out big time with me.
Okay.
Because I pretty much live my life every day that way. I don't wait and pick and choose which whatever topic it is, or in this case, it's picking up illegals by ICE.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he doesn't want to go, didn't he use a number of years? He doesn't want to be that guy like 30 years from now, right? He said.
Yeah, at first he said 20, and then he says 30 years, right?
Yeah. So my thing is like, and I'm going to bring back, because I was one of his last callers. He used to take calls.
Mm-hmm.
But where was Brian? And again, he represents some people. I'm not picking on Brian, but where were these people all during COVID? Like where was the questioning? And being one of Brian's last callers, you know the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always asking questions. And this was a few years ago. I called up Brian because I knew Ned Lamont was going on the next day, and this bear's repeating. Some people know this story. And I called him out for softball questions, and he goes, well, what would you want me to ask Ned? Now, this is the height of COVID. I mean, we're a mess. I go, ask him why he's not using field hospitals that he built. The beds are empty. He's sending COVID-positive patients to the nursing homes. And if there's nothing wrong with it, why did he put an immunity order in?
Right.
Pretty good questions, right?
Yeah.
And he says to me, I'm not going to ask him that. So you can't have questions. No,
now that may, hold on. Now, I will say this, because what have we learned over the last couple of weeks? That Ned Lamont fields every question before they're asked.
Roger call.
And there is, I'm sorry about that. That is an absolute fact of this administration. It's like there are some things that, especially if they're controversial, they won't come on the program if you're going to ask the tough questions. Hello, a la Reese on the radio. It's why they won't come here, because you know you're going to ask the tough questions. But I get what you're saying, is that you brought it up and saying, why not talk about that? It could run the risk of, as far as, retribution goes with Lamont. Hey, I'm never going on that program again.
No more access. But the thing is, let's get back to what Brian said. I don't want to be that guy that wouldn't question. I engaged him personally. It just happened by the grace of God. He took care of me where I ran into him and
Right.
got to ask those questions in person, face to face.
Right.
So let's say that never took place. I mean, I don't understand how Brian could say something like that regarding this. And then all during COVID, and I'm not just picking up Brian, nobody was asking them.
Well, you know what? Hold on.
Nobody
And
was
Brian, let
asking
me
any of this.
let me respond to that, because actually we had that discussion during the election week. Myself, Tom, and Brian, we were all there in the studio together during election week. We were actually talking about that beforehand. And Tom and I both made reference to the authoritarian nature of, COVID shutdowns, the mask mandates, vaccine mandates, also the constant, attacking people who were online, be it Facebook, Instagram, and all that other stuff. And Brian was like, look, I don't know a lot about that which was going on. Now, I don't know whether or not he didn't, but he said, look, I'm not aware of that. But I'm sure that had he been aware of it, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that says if he says he didn't know about it, I can't ask him to opine about something he's not aware of. But everybody.
Having the very guest that could answer those questions.
Say again?
They were regular guests on his show.
I didn't hear you.
I get it. He could say he doesn't. What I'm saying is Brian could say he didn't know, right? But he had the very guest. He has all these shills and all the elected officials and appointed officials on his show.
But
He
that's
could
not
have
his
found out.
role, though. And you got to understand that. That's my role.
I got it. Now, can I just leave you with this, with that new?
Yes.
Because I think
You're breaking up. For some odd reason, you end up somewhere. Yeah, I can't hear
to
you.
run up to his spot.
There you go.
I'm good
Sorry.
now?
Yeah, perfect.
So Mayor Trister, I called out for making a public statement about the gas station arrest.
Yeah.
And I brought up Anastasia Yap, right, who is a Board of Ed member to take care of kids. And she turned to water.
Damn it, Mark. Why are you moving? Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. How's that? Better?
Yeah, much better. Go ahead.
Okay. So they got back to me. So I asked why he didn't make a public statement regarding Anastasia Yap or the shooting that just took place last week, where they shot the back window out of a car. Well, the town manager literally just sent an email last night, and it said Mayor Trister did not make any public statements that I am aware of with respect to Anastasia Yap or the shooting incident involving the scooter rider. Like, I don't even, like, they're admitting, like, we're out of touch. Like, we have these two crimes that took place, and we're not going to make a statement about it. And again, this thing.
And you know
over here,
why,
the
right?
gas station.
You know why? Because to them, it puts them at odds with their constituents. It puts them at odds with the people who they're, in a lot of ways, sort of aligned with. Why would they
last
have a
thing-
statement about a young kid on a scooter shooting out the back of a car, right?
Yeah.
Lest somebody turn around and say, "Oh, why are you pointing out the young black kid? You're racist."
Now, the last thing, and I always get accused of picking on Republicans, but the Newington Republicans put out a statement today with no name attached. I spent a good portion of the day trying to reach out to one Republican in Newington with name recognition to come on your show. Listen, guys, if you're listening in Newington, you're conservative, you're Republican, you can't do that. You got to speak up. You can't be afraid. If you got something to say, attach a name to it. Come on, let's speak about it. And tell people how you feel. You're never going to get past the. We're just going to stay stuck in gear.
I know. I hear you. But
Nothing's ever gonna
have
change.
hope, my friend. Have hope. We're almost there.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Let's go to who's next on my list here. Let's go to David and Vernon. What's going on, David?
How are you?
I'm good, sir. What's up?
All right. So a couple of things. First of all, your interview with Brian Shackman kept mentioning the word due process.
Yes.
If you enter the country illegally, you are not eligible for due process.
What if they go through, let's stop you there. What if you go through the catch and release program that the Biden administration had where they say, okay, you have an immigration hearing or an asylum hearing at this date, and that's the catch and release program. You come in, you give your name, your information, here's your date, go on about your business, but be back here for your court date or find a way to be here via Zoom. Do you consider that a due processable introduction? In essence, if they went through the process of coming in to get an immigration date, doesn't that sort of qualify them for due process?
Is that I'm not sure. That's something for lawyers to contend with.
Right.
All I'm saying is that if you come here illegally, my understanding is you don't get due process.
Yeah, I think that if you got into the border and you are what's called a known gotaway, like, border agents saw you enter, but they couldn't catch you, and you get into the country, and you are then caught, and we have no record of you other than the fact that we tracked you down in some weird way, like you left a cell phone behind and we found out where you were. I don't think that there's a due process for those people because, again, there was, and people keep forgetting this, there was a process in which these millions came into the country at the southern border. They came, they met with Border Patrol agents, they were given dates to appear in court, and then sent on their way to whatever town they wanted to.
So let me switch gears a little bit. My wife is from Ecuador, and when we got married in 2002, and we immediately filed for her family to come here,
Mm-hmm.
and her parents got here relatively quickly, within 3 or 4 years. Recently, we just had two members going through the process, being given the opportunity to come to the United States legally.
Mm-hmm.
So it took 20 some odd years for them to get here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which gets back to why these people are, doing what they're doing. In the same token, and she's had other family members that have either, slipped over the border or married somebody for whatever reason and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know what you know what that's worth now? If I was to marry somebody who wants to come to the United States, 15 or 20 grand.
It was that
married
much
for
when
3
I was a
years?
kid. It was $15,000 I was offered in 1988, 89 to marry a Dominican girl by one of my coworkers at a supermarket.
All right. So how many illegals do you think are in this country?
If I had to go, and I'm going to go in the far-fetched level because people think that it's outrageous, but I'm going to go 30 to 40 mil.
I think you're on the low side.
Wow, I thought that was a bit high. What number do you think, David?
I'm going to give you a caveat, though.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that some of these people who initially entered here illegally have since gone home and, found somebody, quote unquote, here, gone home, and then they re-entered the country where now they're legal.
Right. And you're saying then bringing in sort of like, bringing in other family members with their newfound citizenship.
Well, I mean, that's the next step.
Right.
My point is the fact that even though they arrived here illegally, they've gone home, done the paperwork with the State Department, with their own country and stuff. They had to go home and then get accepted by their own home country and then come back here, and the state said, yeah, okay, you're good. And now you can come back in here. And then they start the process of bringing the other family members.
Yeah, the chain migration, which is the term. Thank you, David. Listen, thank you for the call. I appreciate you, sir. Look, it's a hot button issue because as this audience is concerned, there are people who say there's only one way to view it, and that is on the side of getting illegals out of the country. Am I on your side? Yeah, I'm with you. But you got to stop ignoring the opposition to that. It exists. It just does. It just does exist. And it's a voice worth listening to. It cannot be the rabble-rousing of, he doesn't see it my way, he's a comic. What? No, people don't see. Look, and I will say this before we go. And I know what it's about. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go right there. I've drafted up this list of the authoritarian actions of the Biden administration. And this is the one that gets me. It's the one that bothered me the most. It was pressure on social media and censorship. You all went through this. All of you. Same thing with COVID and everything else. The Disinformation Governance Board. You all went through this. It was when you were told that your opinions had to be shut off, when you had elected officials, former elected officials, and news personalities talking about how you needed to be deprogrammed, how they needed to squash your voice or to eliminate you from polite society because you didn't agree with them. So I've got to ask the question, why are you doing it now? Jordan Peterson said this. I'm going to screw it up, but I'll paraphrase. He said, I always laugh at the people who talk about Nazi Germany, saying the type of people they would have been during that time. I would have never, ever been those people who would have given up folks like Anne Frank. I would have protected Jews. And those people turned out to be the same folks that were calling their local government when people were having parties or gatherings with 10 or more people and sicking the dogs on them. Don't become the thing that you hate. Don't. Just accept the fact that people disagree with you. It's okay. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. And Bob Larson, yeah, he's giving you the weather. And Mark Christopher's getting you home. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Have a great night, Reese. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91's a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B.
All right, sir.
23 West Street and Rocky Hill, northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor, westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge.
I got to go put away my suitcase now.
Tied up.
Oh.
I still haven't unpacked.
To the Bulkley Bridge.
Damn shame.
When we come home, we just put the suitcase and open it up.
9 northbound, look out for an accident.
Damn shame. Y'all just like my wife and child. That burns me up. As soon as I get home, I unpack everything I got.
Eastbound slowing by
Roseanne,
18,
what'd you say?
westbound 84 slowing 22.
What's
up
that?
To the Mixmaster in Waterbury.
You
84
unpacked it?
Danbury, you're looking at delays from exit
look at her.
8 up to
All
exit
right.
11.
Hey.
Now I don't have to do it.
And
Good
if you're
night.
heading down in toward New Haven, a little
I'll
slow
talk to you
traffic
tomorrow.
southbound in the
Hump day.
60 into the West Rock,
All
northbound
right,
properly
buddy.
slowing, approaching 59 into the West Rock and 95.
All right. Show content continues to be. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. I know the haters are going to come out just like, you need to attack him. I wasn't going to ever do that. That's not what we do here. And somebody said yesterday, it was just like, don't forget, you can't, you got to treat him the way you would Tim or Don or Bob. I'm like, those guys do something completely different. And there's no dialogue. Don't agree with them, and you know exactly what happens. Thank you, Raymond. You know exactly what happens. It always goes left. It's the worst thing you could possibly do is not agree with them. They don't want an exchange of ideas. So I hope that the interview was worthwhile. But I don't know. I'll hear from you. I'm sure I will. All right. I love you guys. Be good. Stay out of trouble. And be good to